Chapter 483. A Snake with Wings. Qin Feiyang also had a trace of suspicion on his face. He seemed to have seen it somewhere before. The giant python flapped its huge wings and was as fast as lightning. In the blink of an eye, it was in front of the two. Their eyes trembled. Although this giant python was huge, its speed was not slow at all. "If you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish," Lu Xingqian shouted coldly. The wind attribute battle chi emerged and condensed into a huge wind blade. It was his battle art, Gale Blade. Whoosh! The gale blade whistled and swept across the sky. In an instant, it cut the giant python in half. Blood flowed like a waterfall, dyeing the void red. Boom! The giant python also wailed and chased down the desert below. With a loud sound, it smashed into the yellow sand. Hiss! It was also at this moment. A shocking scene appeared. 5 giant pythons rushed out of the yellow sand and rushed toward the giant python that was cut in half. In the end, it was eaten by the 5 giant pythons. They even eat their own kind. Lu Xingqian was stunned. Seeing this scene, the memories that Qin Feiyang had sealed away for a long time involuntarily surged forth. His body trembled and he said in a low voice, "I already know what they are." "What?" Lu Xingqian looked at him in surprise. "Flying sand python." Qin Feiyang said word by word. His tone was quite serious. Lu Xingqian showed a puzzled look. Flying sand python is the same as the blackstone ape. They are a species from 10,000 years ago. The blackstone ape's defense is amazing. And the flying sand python's speed is very fast. They can leave their opponents far behind in the same realm. Moreover, whenever their companions are killed, they will eat their companions' corpses. This behavior is not a habit. It is because eating their companions' corpses can increase their own strength. However, this does not mean that they are not united. On the contrary, they are very united. They will hunt down the executioner who kills their companions until the other party is dead. Qin Feiyang said in a low voice. "I see." Lu Xingqian revealed a look of realization, but his heart was also very heavy. The surviving species from 10,000 years ago had the ability to reach the heavens. It seemed that this winged sand python was not easy to deal with. After the 5 winged sand pythons finished devouring the corpses of their companions, they raised their heads and looked at Lu Xingqian. Their huge eyes were filled with an ominous glint. Qin Feiyang said, "They have their eyes on you." Lu Xingqian smiled bitterly. "You should have told me earlier. Otherwise, I wouldn't have killed it. Even if you don't kill it, it will still kill you. After all, they are cold-blooded creatures. Let's do it. I reckon that in the desert, there should be a king similar to the Monkey King. Let's kill our way out before it appears." Qin Feiyang whispered. That being said, Qin Feiyang did not make a move. Seeing this, Lu Xingqian stared blankly and asked strangely, "You're just going to watch the show like this? I have to keep an eye on the Monkey King. Only you can do it." Qin Feiyang glanced at the Monkey King behind them. If the Monkey King took advantage of this situation, they would all be finished. "Sure enough, you're smart." Lu Xingqian gave him a thumbs up. But just as he was about to make a move, the 5 winged sand pythons directly drilled into the yellow sand and disappeared from their sight. "What's going on?" Lu Xingqian was a little confused. "Don't worry about them. Let's go." Qin Feiyang shouted in a low voice. Whoosh! The 2 of them sped up, like 2 bolts of lightning, violently sweeping through the void. Boom! Crash! But in less than 10 breaths. As far as the eye could see, the yellow sand was tumbling. Waves of sand surged violently. At this moment, the void was submerged by the yellow sand. Oh no, they're going to find help. Qin Feiyang exclaimed. Hiss. Sure enough. Among the sand waves, the winged giant pythons constantly swept out, densely packed. There were at least 300 of them. Seeing this, behind them, the Monkey King's eyes flickered. Qin Feiyang shouted, "You open the way, I'll cover the back." Okay. Lu Xingqian nodded. His battle chi surged and transformed into a terrifying hurricane that whistled forward. More than 10 winged sand pythons revealed a fierce look, simultaneously raising their giant tails to attack the hurricane. Boom! A loud explosion was heard, shaking the heavens and the earth. The hurricane was forcefully shattered. The giant tails of the winged sand pythons were also torn open, blood staining the sky. But it was obvious that they all had the strength of a 9-star combat emperor. Humans, you all deserve to die. One of the winged sand pythons shouted. In an instant, the surrounding winged sand pythons opened their wide mouths, spitting out a transparent saliva. Be careful, the saliva contains a strong poison. With our current cultivation, we'll definitely die if we touch it. Qin Feiyang shouted. But one must know that there were more than 300 winged sand pythons here. If they spat out saliva together, it would be enough to form a large waterfall. The two of them had nowhere to run. Lu Xingqian said in a deep voice, "I can't use my battle technique now, you'll have to deal with it." Because of the wind, the saliva would splatter everywhere, making it easier to stick to the saliva. Sigh. Qin Feiyang sighed deeply. The 9-leaf fire lotus appeared out of thin air, and waves of fire immediately surged. Boom! In the next moment, with the two of them as the center, the waves of fire surged in all directions. The terrifyingly high temperature quickly evaporated the saliva. However, there were still a few drops of saliva that escaped the evaporation of the waves of fire. Like a few arrows, they instantly stuck to Lu Xingqian's hand. Immediately, his skin began to fester. His lips also instantly turned black. He could not help but wail in pain. Damn it! Qin Feiyang cursed inwardly. He took out the Chang Shui and decisively cut off Lu Xingqian's arm. Blood immediately gushed out. However, the blood was as black as ink, and it was even steaming with black smoke. Swoosh! However, at the same time, the Monkey King behind them suddenly went berserk. Like a bolt of lightning, it instantly landed behind Qin Feiyang. Its huge hand, which was the size of a dustpan, grabbed Qin Feiyang. Then, it held Qin Feiyang's entire body firmly in its hands. You're still being dishonest. Qin Feiyang was seething with anger. He exerted all his strength. However, the Monkey King's strength was too great. He could not break free at all. Moreover, he was held in the Monkey King's hand, including his arm and the Chang Shui. Hence, he could not use the Chang Shui. The Monkey King roared, "Hand it over to me at once, or I'll crush you. If you crush me, it'll die as well." Qin Feiyang sneered. Stubborn. The Monkey King's eyes shone fiercely. It exerted a little force, and Qin Feiyang's bones, apart from his head, were all broken. The intense pain caused his face to contort. As for Lu Xingqian, he could not save him now. Because the venom of the winged sand python was too terrifying. Although Qin Feiyang cut off his arm in time, the venom had already mixed into his blood, and his consciousness was dizzy. Even the poison was attacking his heart. What should I do? Countless thoughts flashed through Qin Feiyang's mind. At this time, he must be calm. Otherwise, once he lost his mind, he would definitely die. The situation at this time could be said to be hanging by a thread. Suddenly, his eyes flashed with a cold light. With a thought, the pangolin appeared without any warning. Catch it! Qin Feiyang roared. With a thought, a rib appeared. When the pangolin saw this situation, it knew what to do. It grabbed the rib and slammed it on the Monkey King's head. Immediately, the Monkey King was smashed to the point of seeing stars. The hand that grabbed Qin Feiyang also loosened a little. Still not letting go, the pangolin roared, grabbed the rib again, and smashed it on the other 3 heads of the Monkey King like lightning. Bang bang bang. The 4 heads of the Monkey King began to feel dizzy. The huge hand that grabbed Qin Feiyang finally loosened. But at the same time, the Monkey King raised his other arm and slammed it on the pangolin. The pangolin was smart. It had already expected this. It quickly moved its body and narrowly avoided this dangerous attack. But even so, the palm wind sent it flying. Its skin and flesh were lacerated. After all, it was only a 2-star war emperor now. The gap between it and the Monkey King was too big. Even if it was just a palm wind, it was still fatal. His consciousness was being swallowed by the darkness. Moreover, the winged sand python once again spat out a wave of venom. It covered the sky and the earth, terrifying one's mind. But at this time, Qin Feiyang finally escaped. Without hesitation, he waved his hand and sent Lu Xingqian to the ancient castle. Following closely, he endured the intense pain and rushed towards the pangolin. At the same time, the 9-leaf fire lotus erupted with a monstrous wave of fire, drowning the void. A large part of the saliva instantly evaporated. But there was too much saliva and it couldn't evaporate all of it. A drop of saliva landed on Qin Feiyang's leg. He could clearly feel a terrifying poison rapidly spreading throughout his body. His skin instantly turned pitch black. His life was in danger. Qin Feiyang gritted his teeth and endured the heart-wrenching pain. He raised his broken arm and swung the Chang Shui. His thigh was directly cut off. Pitch-black blood sprinkled down like rain. But the remaining poison quickly spread throughout his body. His consciousness was also dizzy. Roar! However, misfortune never came alone. At this time, the Monkey King woke up. It roared angrily and crossed the void, charging towards Qin Feiyang. Its body was overflowing with hostility. Qin Feiyang's body and mind tensed up. Cold sweat broke out. He bit his tongue hard to maintain his consciousness and roared, "Pangolin, come here." The roar was like thunder, entering the pangolin's mind. Immediately, the pangolin quivered. Its consciousness that was swallowed by the darkness suddenly woke up. Without the slightest hesitation, it immediately dragged its seriously injured body and rushed towards Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang also flew towards it. The distance between the man and the beast was only 100 meters. But at this moment, in their eyes, it was like a gap that was difficult to cross. Those winged sand pythons spat out the 3rd wave of saliva. Their target was not Qin Feiyang, but the pangolin. The Monkey King's target was Qin Feiyang. The pangolin anxiously roared, "You can't save me. Go. No. Since you followed me, I can't leave you behind." Qin Feiyang shook his head. Clang! 9 fire lotus leaves fell at the same time and bombarded the Monkey King behind. Explode! As it approached, Qin Feiyang roared. The 9 leaves exploded, giving birth to an apocalyptic energy that turned into a giant wave that swept out in all directions. The saliva that rushed towards the pangolin was all evaporated in an instant. But this did not stop the Monkey King from advancing. It only made it pause. All of this happened too fast. Chapter 484. A distance of 50 meters could be covered in a few steps. However, at this moment, for Qin Feiyang and the pangolin, it was a line of life and death that was difficult to approach. The pangolin angrily said, "I told you to leave, so leave quickly." The Monkey King was already behind Qin Feiyang, and it was only a few meters away. With Qin Feiyang's current state, it was impossible to escape. But he couldn't give up. It was even more impossible to abandon the pangolin and escape alone. Clang! A red battle sword emerged from behind him. Roar! Following closely. A flaming beast shadow roared out. One sword and one beast carried a never say die belief as they charged towards the Monkey King. An ant trying to shake a tree. The Monkey King's eyes were filled with disdain. With a slap of its big hand, it directly smashed the battle sword and the beast shadow into pieces. Puff! Qin Feiyang was so angry that blood spurted out, and his injuries worsened. The pangolin angrily roared, "Leave quickly, do you want to die? Before I give up, don't give up either." Qin Feiyang shouted as his consciousness continued to fade. He bit his tongue hard again, and his tongue was about to be bitten off. Blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth like a stream. His entire face had been distorted. Looking at Qin Feiyang, who was willing to risk his life to save him, the pangolin's heart was sour, and tears could not stop flowing out of his eyes. At this time, the distance between the man and the beast was only 20 meters. However, the Monkey King had also come behind Qin Feiyang, and was very close. "Don't even think about escaping today." It raised its huge hand and once again grabbed towards Qin Feiyang. Right now, it did not dare to really kill Qin Feiyang, but as long as it caught Qin Feiyang, all the problems would be solved. Roar! But at this time, a loud dragon roar sounded, shaking the void and the earth. Then, a vast dragon might, like a volcanic eruption, crazily rolled out in this place. The winged sand pythons around suddenly trembled, and a strong fear emerged from the depths of their hearts. Even the Monkey King's face changed color and retreated without hesitation. 4 pairs of eyes and 8 pupils constricted together. This was an innate fear. The dragon was the king of all beasts, and its dignity was inviolable. Whether it was the dire beasts of today or the descendants from 10,000 years ago, they were all instinctively afraid of it. The Monkey King and the winged sand pythons couldn't figure it out. How did this human suddenly burst out with dragon's might? Qin Feiyang wanted to summon the purple gold dragon soul, but seeing the situation, he decided against it. After all, the purple gold dragon soul was too shocking. If news of this spread, who knew what kind of storm it would cause? As long as he could intimidate the Monkey King and the winged sand python, everything would be fine. And now was the opportunity. Qin Feiyang and the pangolin quickly converged. Not good. The expression of the Monkey King drastically changed. His might gushed forth as he lunged towards the human and beast. "Damned monkey, you'll regret this." Qin Feiyang sneered, grabbed the pangolin beast, and disappeared without a trace. "Damn it!" The Monkey King howled in anger as its baleful aura soared to the heavens. The surrounding winged sand pythons all hid far away, not daring to approach it. Whoosh! But at this time, with the sound of something breaking through the air, another winged sand python landed in front of the Monkey King. Its body was very small, only more than 1 meter long, but its body was covered with yellow scales, revealing a hard texture. "Greetings, my king." The surrounding winged sand pythons all lowered their heads, looking extremely respectful. That's right. It was the ruler of this desert, the Sand Python King. The Sand Python King looked at the Monkey King, with its long and narrow snake eyes shining with cold light, and said, "Monkey, what was that dragon's might just now?" The Monkey King replied, "I don't know, but I'm sure that the human called Qin Feiyang is not simple." Qin Feiyang. The Sand Python King was confused. "They entered here 4 months ago. Countless of my monkeys and grandchildren have been killed by them. The most important thing is that the self-proclaimed holy monkey also fell into their hands." The Monkey King continued to transmit his voice, his eyes as gloomy as water. "What? The Sand Python King's expression changed, and he also said secretly, "You let them take the holy monkey, what are you doing?" His tone was quite angry. "I didn't want to do that. But they are really cunning. Furthermore, that Qin Feiyang possessed a dagger that could easily break through ice. He also possessed a bone that could shatter ice. In addition, he has a treasure that can hide. As long as he hides, I can't even sense where he is. Tell me, what can I do to them?" The Monkey King roared. The Sand Python King was silent for a while, and then asked, "What is their purpose of coming here?" "To find someone," the Monkey King said. The Sand Python King's pupils contracted, and he said in a low voice, "Who?" "Him." The Monkey King transmitted his voice secretly. The Sand Python King said in surprise, "Impossible, how do they know where he is?" The Monkey King shook his head and said, "I don't know. It seems that this matter is more complicated than I thought. But no matter what, we can't let them leave alive. Because of the existence of the canyon, we can't let the people outside know about our existence. We can't let them take the holy monkey away." The Sand Python King said. "Don't worry, they can't run away. According to my observation, although Qin Feiyang's space treasure can hide, it can't be moved. As long as we stay here, they will come out to beg for mercy sooner or later." The Monkey King transmitted his voice, and his eyes flashed fiercely. "Can't be moved." The Sand Python King's eyes lit up, and he sneered, "Very well, I would like to see who can outlast the other." Immediately, under its order, the winged sand pythons around entered the yellow sand and disappeared. Only the Sand Python King and the Monkey King were here. At the same time, inside the castle, the moment Qin Feiyang, Lu Xingqian, and the pangolin beast entered the ancient castle, their vision turned dark and they fell unconscious on the ground. No one cared about Lu Xingqian. But when Qin Feiyang and the pangolin fell, Lin Yi, Fatso, Lu Hong, and Luo Qianxue were shocked. Fatso and Lu Hong were the first to get up. They ran to Qin Feiyang and the pangolin, squatted on the ground, and checked their injuries. Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue also got up and stood beside Qin Feiyang. Their faces were full of worry. After a few seconds, Lu Hong took out a healing pill and put it into the pangolin's mouth. Then, she got up and walked to Fatso and asked, "How is Qin Feiyang?" Fatso frowned and asked, "What about the pangolin?" Lu Hong said, "It is just seriously injured and unconscious. I have given it a healing pill. Its life is not in danger." Fatso sighed, "The pangolin is fine, but the boss's situation is not good." When Lin Yi heard this sentence, her face suddenly turned pale. She said anxiously, "How is Brother Feiyang?" Fatso looked up at her and sighed, "The boss's injury is not serious, but the toxin has entered his heart." "What?" Luo Qianxue, Lin Yi, and Lu Hong immediately felt as if they were struck by lightning. Their bodies and minds trembled. Fatso said, "Fortunately, the boss cut off his thigh in time. Otherwise, he would be dead now." Lu Hong said angrily, "Don't talk nonsense. Just tell us if there is a way to detoxify." Now, she was also in a mess. Yes. Detoxification pill. But the general detoxification pill definitely won't work. Fatso took out a medicinal pill with 2 elixir patterns and said worriedly, "I just hope this detoxification pill is effective." After that, he put the detoxification pill into Qin Feiyang's mouth. "Boss, Fat Lord still wants to be the protector general of the state. You can't die now." Fatso retracted his arm and muttered secretly. He turned to look at Lu Hong and said, "Give Lu Xingqian a detoxification pill too." N. Lu Hong turned around and walked toward Lu Xingqian. Brother Feiyang, Lin Yi squatted next to Qin Feiyang. She reached out and stroked Qin Feiyang's dark face. Her heart felt like it was being cut by a knife, and tears gushed out like a spring. Fatso got up, walked to Luo Qinshue's side, and watched this scene silently. After Lu Hong gave Lu Xingqian a detoxification pill, she turned around and came to Fatso's side. Her eyes were a little wet. But she tried hard to restrain herself. Suddenly, she turned to look at Fatso and asked, "Do you have a blood-generating pill?" "Blood-generating pill?" Fatso was taken aback and asked, "Why do you need the blood-generating pill?" Lu Hong said, "Qin Feiyang's blood has toxins. If the blood is drained, he should recover faster." Fatso slapped his head and said angrily, "Why didn't Fat Lord think of it?" He hurriedly took out the Qiankuan pouch and searched for a moment. His eyes suddenly lit up, and he took out 5 blood-generating pills. Then, he took out another dagger and walked to Qin Feiyang's side. He urged, quickly move aside." Lin Yi retreated aside obediently. Fatso first gave Qin Feiyang a blood-generating pill, then cut Qin Feiyang's wrist with the dagger. Pitch-black blood immediately flowed out of the wound. A pungent stench quickly spread in the castle. Lin Yi said worriedly, "Fatso, is it okay for you to bleed like this?" Fatso smiled and said, "Don't worry. With the blood-generating pill, there is no problem at all." After thinking about it, Fatso added, "Although the venom of the winged sand python is very toxic, it is still a lot worse than the black evil spirit's poison. The black evil spirit's poison can't kill boss, let alone this thing." In fact, he was also nervous in his heart. He said so just to comfort Lin Yi and Luo Qianxue. Time passed quickly. 2 days passed. In the past 2 days, Lin Yi, Lu family, and Luo Qianxue stayed close. Fatso also bled Qin Feiyang 10 times. The originally dark blood had finally returned to normal. Qin Feiyang's breath gradually stabilized. Fatso looked at Qin Feiyang's situation and smiled at Luo Qianxue and others, "Boss should be fine. You all go and cultivate. Don't waste time." Lin Yi said, "You all go and cultivate. I will take care of Brother Feiyang." "All right." Fatso thought for a while and nodded with a smile. After giving Qin Feiyang a healing pill and regeneration pill, he got up and walked to the corner to check the injuries of the pangolin beast. "It hasn't woken up yet. This guy is seriously injured. Damn monkey, just you wait. I will cripple you sooner or later." Fatso's eyes flashed with a shocking cold light. He sat cross-legged next to the pangolin beast and began to cultivate. "Everything is because of strength. If I have enough strength, how can everyone fall into the current situation?" Luo Qianxue and Lu Hong glanced at Qin Feiyang and also entered close cultivation. If one looked closely, one would find that Lu Hong's expression had a piercing coldness. The next day, the pangolin beast finally woke up. Seeing that Qin Feiyang's situation had stabilized, it immediately began to close cultivation. Chapter 485. Another 5 days passed. Lin Yi did not leave for the past 5 days. Moreover, she also wiped the blood on Qin Feiyang's body clean. Qin Feiyang's lost thigh had also been repaired. It was on this day. Qin Feiyang's closed eyes moved slightly. Brother Feiyang, Lin Yi always paid attention to Qin Feiyang's situation, so this subtle change did not escape her eyes. Immediately, a hint of joy appeared in her dim and lifeless eyes. After a few breaths, Qin Feiyang finally opened his eyes. There was a trace of confusion in his eyes. "Brother Feiyang, you finally woke up. Do you know how worried I was these past few days?" Lin Yi could no longer control her emotions. She lay on Qin Feiyang's body and cried with joy. "I'm not dead." Qin Feiyang was a little stunned. When he recovered, he looked at Lin Yi, who was lying on top of him. His gaze suddenly became complicated. As long as one was not an idiot, one could see this girl's feelings for him. If this continues, I'm afraid it will reach the point of no return. But, how can I make her give up completely? Reject her cruelly? But, he really couldn't do it. Because he was Yi's only family member now. If he directly said that he did not like her, she would be too sad and would probably go to extremes. Sigh. Qin Feiyang sighed deeply. He really couldn't make Yi sad. He raised his arm, gently rubbed Yi's head, and comforted, "Am I not fine? Don't cry." His body was still very weak. It was difficult to even raise his hand. His voice was a little hoarse. But in order not to let Yi worry, he pretended to have recovered. "I'm not crying. I'm happy." Lin Yi raised her head and looked at Qin Feiyang with tears in her eyes. Her face was full of joy. "Yes, no matter what happens, you should be happy. Even if I die unfortunately, you have to live happily." Qin Feiyang smiled. Lin Yi's face changed. She hurriedly covered Qin Feiyang's mouth and said, "Don't say such inauspicious words." All right, all right, all right. I won't say anything. I won't say anything in the future. Get up first. I've been lying around for so long that my body is almost rusty." Qin Feiyang smiled. "Yes." Lin Yi nodded and got up to help Qin Feiyang up. Qin Feiyang stretched his muscles and bones. Although he didn't have much strength, walking wasn't a problem. Lin Yi looked up and down at Qin Feiyang and wondered, "Brother Feiyang, aren't you healed? Why is your face still a little dark? Is it dark?" Qin Feiyang was taken aback. Lin Yi took out a mirror and placed it in front of Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang looked at himself in the mirror. His skin was indeed a little dark, but it wasn't that obvious. How could this be? He frowned and immersed his mind into his body. After some observation, the blood in his body had completely returned to normal. But his heart was still a little dark. It seemed that the toxins had not been detoxified. Qin Feiyang calmed his mind, looked at Yi, and asked, "Who helped me detoxify?" "It's Fatso. But the person who came up with this idea is Sister Lu Hong." Lin Yi briefly explained the situation at the time. After listening, Qin Feiyang looked at Fatso and Lu Hong. Fortunately, they were there. Otherwise, it would be a disaster this time. Withdrawing his gaze, he looked at Lin Yi again and smiled, "Don't worry about me. Go and cultivate first." Lin Yi asked, "Are you really okay?" "Don't worry. I'm fine." Qin Feiyang smiled. "All right." Lin Yi looked at him suspiciously, turned around, walked to Luo Qianxue, and sat on the ground. When Lin Yi closed her eyes, Qin Feiyang glanced at the pangolin. Seeing that the pangolin had recovered, he couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief secretly. Then, he walked to Lu Xingqian again. He didn't know if he didn't look, but he was shocked when he saw it. Lu Xingqian was still in a coma. Not only that, but his skin was as black as charcoal, as dark as ink. "What's going on?" He hurriedly squatted down and checked Lu Xingqian's situation. His expression changed drastically. Fatso didn't detoxify Lu Xingqian. He knew what Fatso was thinking in his heart. But now, Lu Xingqian couldn't die yet. Because Lu Xingqian's resurrection was too strange. He would feel uneasy if he didn't find out the truth. Qin Feiyang first refined a few regeneration pills and then changed Lu Xingqian's blood. Fortunately, he woke up in time. If he woke up a few days later, Lu Xingqian would have died. When the situation stabilized, Qin Feiyang refined a detoxification pill with 3 elixir patterns and took it. Then, he looked into his heart. The detoxification pill turned into a majestic energy and rushed to the heart. The last bit of toxin was finally removed. After the toxin was eradicated, Qin Feiyang's complexion really returned to normal, and the lost strength was also recovering little by little. "If I don't change my blood, I'm afraid I will need at least a detoxification pill with 4 elixir patterns to eradicate the toxin. It seems that I must be careful when facing the winged sand python in the future. Qin Feiyang murmured. At the same time, he was quite worried. Even he couldn't refine a pill with 4 elixir patterns, let alone others. Looking at the entire spiritual state, it was impossible to find. If these winged sand pythons leave the Grand Canyon and enter the outside continent, it would undoubtedly be a disaster for the billions of creatures in the spiritual state. If there is a chance, it is best to bury all the winged sand pythons here. Swish! A cold light flashed in his eyes, and he disappeared instantly. But the next moment, he appeared out of thin air again with a gloomy gaze. Lin Yi opened her eyes suspiciously and asked, "Brother Feiyang, what's wrong?" Qin Feiyang said, "The Monkey King is guarding outside. There is also a winged sand python that is not inferior to the Monkey King. It should be the king of the winged sand python." Lin Yi said worriedly, "Then, aren't we trapped here?" Qin Feiyang smiled and said, "You just cultivate with peace of mind. I will deal with these things. And, I believe in Brother Feiyang." Lin Yi smiled and closed her eyes. "Damn monkey, this debt will not be settled like this. Wait and see." Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed fiercely. He took out the battle chi pill and waited for the depleted battle chi to recover. Then, he continued to copy the battle formula. Lu Xingchen didn't wake up until half a month later because he changed his blood too late. Qin Feiyang also refined a 3-vein detoxification pill for him to eradicate the toxin. Subsequently, Lu Xingchen began to retreat to restore his vitality. Time passed quickly like the sand between the fingers. On this day, Qin Feiyang's fingertips trembled, and a bright light beam bloomed, illuminating the entire ancient castle. His cultivation also soared to the 6-star combat emperor. Finally, I'm done copying. He didn't care much about the skyrocketing cultivation at this moment. His eyes were all on the word battle. About 3 breaths later, the word battle on the iron book suddenly turned blood-red as if it was cast by blood, exuding a bloody brilliance. At the same time, a monstrous battle intent broke out, awakening everyone. Fatso and Lu Hong were already used to it. But Luo Qianxue, Lin Yi, the pangolin, and Lu Xingchen saw it for the first time. Their faces were full of surprise. What's going on? Suddenly, the eyes of Luo Qianxue and the others became extremely incredulous. The word battle actually left the iron book and gradually rose into the air. Whoosh! Following closely, the word battle turned into a stream of light and went into Qin Feiyang's glabella. As soon as the word battle disappeared, the bloody brilliance and the astonishing battle intent also dissipated. The ancient castle soon returned to calm. The pangolin was surprised. What happened just now? This is a secret. Qin Feiyang smiled mysteriously and looked at the small line of words at the bottom of the page. After breaking through to the Battle Master, he could turn to the second page. Battle Master? It shouldn't take long. He muttered secretly, closed the iron box, turned to look at Lu Xingchen, and smiled. "Do you dare to accompany me to meet the Monkey King?" "Why wouldn't I dare?" Lu Xingchen got up without the slightest fear on his face. 2 lunatics. Fatso rolled his eyes at them and closed his eyes directly. Didn't they suffer enough last time? Now they actually took the initiative to provoke the monkey. If they weren't lunatics, what were they? Luo Qianxue said, "Feiyang, I won't stop you from doing whatever you want, but you must act according to your ability." "I know." Qin Feiyang nodded. "That's good." Luo Qianxue smiled with relief. Qin Feiyang looked at Lu Xingchen and said, "Are you ready?" Lu Xingchen smiled and said, "Let's go." Qin Feiyang waved his hand, took Lu Xingchen, and appeared over the desert. Monkey King and Sand Python Emperor, who were squatting in the void, suddenly became fierce when they saw the two. Monkey King sneered, "I thought you would hide for a lifetime. Don't say such useless nonsense." Qin Feiyang glanced at it and said indifferently, "Do you dare to make a bet with me? Is there a need for that?" Sand Python Emperor sneered. Qin Feiyang turned to look at it and asked, "Are you the emperor of this desert?" "That's right." Sand Python Emperor laughed coldly and arrogantly, with a hint of contempt in his eyes. Qin Feiyang said, "Just in time, one of you two can come and fight with me. As long as I can hold on for 10 breaths of time, you can let us go." 10 breaths of time? Are you joking? Haha, Monkey King and Sand Python Emperor couldn't help but laugh out loud, filled with ridicule. One had to know. They were all existences of the War Master realm. And the human in front of him seemed to be only a 5-star War Emperor, no. Suddenly, Monkey King's pupils contracted. This human's aura was actually stronger than before. You can't have broken through again, right? Monkey King was surprised. Qin Feiyang laughed, "Thank you for taking care of me, I just broke through to the 6-star War Emperor." "How is this possible?" Monkey King's eyes widened, unable to believe it. Sand Python Emperor said disdainfully, "Monkey, isn't it just breaking through a small realm, what's the fuss about?" Monkey King sent a sound transmission, "It's not that I'm making a fuss, it's just that it's too unbelievable." Sand Python Emperor was stunned, and secretly said, "What do you mean? I clearly remember that when he first came to the canyon, he was only a 4-star War Emperor. But in just half a year, he actually broke through to the 6-star War Emperor. Don't you think this speed is amazing?" Monkey King said. "What? In half a year's time, he broke through 2 small realms?" When Sand Python Emperor heard this, he looked at Qin Feiyang with his mouth agape. Chapter 486. Qin Feiyang glanced at the two beasts and provoked, "I'll only ask you one thing, do you dare? Right now, you don't have the conditions to choose. Because as long as we hide, you can't do anything to us. Moreover, you have seen Qin Feiyang's talent. I can guarantee that in less than 5 years, he will be able to step into the War Master. And we are all top-grade alchemists. The resources we have on us are enough for us to survive for decades, or even hundreds of years. Trying to trap us to death is simply a dream. Once Qin Feiyang steps into the War Master, you have even less chance of winning. So, you can only agree." Lu Xingqian said with a faint smile. Qin Feiyang said, "He said it clearly enough, I won't say any more, think about it carefully." Monkey King and Sand Python Emperor looked at each other, their eyes filled with anger and helplessness. Monkey King gritted his teeth and nodded, "All right, this Emperor agrees, but what if you can't hold on for 10 breaths of time?" Qin Feiyang said, "If I can't hold on for 10 breaths of time, I will return the monkey to you and leave the canyon immediately." Monkey King said, "Then it's a deal." "It's a deal." Qin Feiyang said. Monkey King and Sand Python Emperor began to discuss, who should go out to fight. Qin Feiyang took out a rib and handed it to Lu Xingqian, and whispered a few words into Lu Xingqian's ear. Lu Xingqian nodded. A moment later, Monkey King took a step forward, his 8 huge eyes firmly staring at Qin Feiyang, and said, "This emperor will accompany you in battle." "Step back," Qin Feiyang said to Lu Xingqian. Lu Xingqian retreated into the distance. Sand Python Emperor did not retreat and stood to the side. This was because the fluctuations from the battle between Monkey King and Qin Feiyang did not pose any danger to him. "Who?" Qin Feiyang watched as Lu Xingqian left. He took a deep breath and turned back to look at the Monkey King. "Come!" Boom! The Monkey King's aura erupted forth. He soared through the air with a single step and instantly appeared before Qin Feiyang. The dustpan-sized giant hand suddenly slapped towards Qin Feiyang's head. Battle chi surged, shaking the mountains and rivers. Moreover, its speed was so fast that it was impossible to guard against it. Fight! Qin Feiyang stared at the Monkey King as he abruptly roared. A mist of blood instantly gushed out from his pores. Boom! Following closely. A monstrous battle intent rushed out of his body like an erupting volcano, unstoppable. It was the battle character formula. At the same time, his pitch-black hair and pitch-black eyes instantly turned blood-red. The Monkey King looked at Qin Feiyang in surprise, but then said disdainfully, "No matter what tricks you play, a loss is a loss, and no one can change it." The dustpan-sized giant hand, with a destructive force, suddenly fell down. That's not necessarily true. Qin Feiyang slapped the air with his palm, and a golden light suddenly appeared in his palm. But compared to the Monkey King's giant hand, Qin Feiyang's hand was like an ant compared to an elephant, insignificant. At this moment, Lu Xingqian's heart was also in his throat. Boom! The two hands met in an instant. Without any suspense, Qin Feiyang was directly slapped down without any resistance, and his arm was instantly shattered. Bang! In the end, he was like a meteorite, smashing into the desert below. Suddenly, yellow sand flew. A sandstorm raged. A crater that was several hundred meters deep appeared. On the other hand, the Monkey King stood firmly in the air without moving, but there was a trace of disbelief in his eyes. Previously, when it collided with Qin Feiyang, it clearly felt that a part of its power was reflected back. In other words, this kind of battle art used by the other party had the power to give itself a taste of its own medicine. Its killing intent suddenly rose. This kind of battle art was too terrifying. If it allowed the other party to grow and break through to the War Master, it might not be able to stop him. It swooped down and swept towards the deep pit below. 3 breaths have already passed. A cold voice sounded. Qin Feiyang rushed out from the yellow sand, his body dripping with blood. However, no matter from his face or eyes, there was not the slightest trace of weakness. He seemed to be hale and hearty, and his fighting spirit was soaring to the sky. How is this possible? Seeing this, whether it was the Monkey King, the Sand Python Emperor, or Lu Xingqian, their faces were filled with disbelief. One must know. Qin Feiyang was only a 6-star war emperor, while the Monkey King was a genuine war master. The difference in their cultivation could be said to be like heaven and earth. The Monkey King had used all his strength in that palm strike. If it was someone else, they would have been smashed into pieces. Even if they weren't smashed into pieces, they would definitely be seriously injured and unconscious, or even crippled on the spot. However, Qin Feiyang was still alive and kicking. Why was this? Not good. All of a sudden, the Sand Python Emperor quivered and came back to his senses. He shouted, "Monkey, 5 breaths have passed." 5 breaths. The Monkey King's huge body trembled and immediately charged towards Qin Feiyang. At the same time, Qin Feiyang swallowed a regeneration pill and a healing pill. His blood-red hair was like a river of blood, dancing wildly behind him. Battle character art, whether or not I can hold on today all depends on you. He mumbled to himself. Abruptly, he stared at the Monkey King as his eyes gleamed with determination. Boom! Qin Feiyang took the initiative to greet him. You still dare to take the initiative to come up, you really don't know life from death. The Monkey King was furious. Qin Feiyang's behavior, to it, was simply a naked contempt. It was like a big mountain, rapidly falling from the sky. Its big hairy foot was about to step on Qin Feiyang's head. It was going to crush Qin Feiyang's head. Fight! Qin Feiyang roared. He raised his other arm and the return character art appeared in his palm. He slapped at the Monkey King's foot. Boom! Crack! This arm was also smashed on the spot. Flesh and blood splattered everywhere and was once again blasted into the desert. How dare you be arrogant in front of me, aren't you courting death? The Monkey King sneered and turned to Lu Xingqian, his eyes flashing fiercely. He was fully confident in himself. Qin Feiyang would definitely die this time. The Sand Python Emperor also sneered. Not good. Lu Xingqian's face darkened. He looked up at the black storm above and then down at the desert below. Is he really dead? His eyes flashed. Whoosh! Without any hesitation, Lu Xingqian rushed to the sky and rushed toward the black storm. Once Qin Feiyang died, he had no place to hide. He could only hide in the storm to avoid the pursuit of the two beasts. However, just as the Monkey King and the Sand Python Emperor were about to kill Lu Xingqian and Lu Xingqian was about to hide in the storm, a huge wave of yellow sand suddenly rose from below. A blood-red figure rushed out of the yellow sand. Who else could it be but Qin Feiyang? He was covered in blood and was seriously injured, but his sharp eyes still showed no signs of weakness. He stood proudly in the void and looked at the Monkey King. Where are you going? Not dead. That's impossible. The Monkey King and the Sand Python Emperor widened their eyes in disbelief. How could he not die? Was this a joke? Lu Xingqian's eyes were also filled with shock. The Monkey King used all his strength in the two attacks. If it were him, he would not be able to withstand it. No. It wasn't that he wasn't confident, it was that he didn't dare to take it on. But Qin Feiyang, this guy, actually withstood it. What a pervert. While the Monkey King and the Beast King were stunned, another 2 breaths passed. Qin Feiyang's fighting spirit boiled, and he sneered, 9 stars have already passed, there is only 1 breath left. Damn it! The Monkey King was unable to restrain his anger. His battle chi surged out, emitting a bright light. Like a pillar of light that reached the sky, it carried a destructive aura as it charged towards Qin Feiyang. Lu Xingqian shouted, 10 breaths have passed, we have 1, stop immediately. Impossible. The Monkey King roared. Not only did he not stop, the evil aura around his body became even stronger than before. At the same time, the Sand Python Emperor also turned into a streak of light, cutting through the sky and charging towards Lu Xingqian. Bastard! As a super overlord of the War Master level, you actually went back on your word. Lu Xingqian's hair stood on end as he charged towards the black storm without looking back. Qin Feiyang's face was also gloomy, but he was not surprised. This was because he had already expected such an outcome before the fight began. That was why he gave Lu Xingqian a rib in advance. After all, as long as he fought with the Monkey King, he would definitely be separated from Lu Xingqian, and naturally would not be able to rescue Lu Xingqian in time. And with the rib, Lu Xingqian could hide in the storm. Qin Feiyang glanced at the pillar of light, then looked at the Monkey King, his gaze was extremely cold, and said, "Are you really going to pester me to the end?" The Monkey King roared, "Hand it over, this emperor will leave your corpse intact." In that case, Qin Feiyang's eyes surged with a cold light, his arm shot out, and his index finger repeatedly pointed in the air. Ultimate. Boom. For invisible forces surged downwards like a tsunami, covering the sky and covering the earth. Swish. Following closely. Qin Feiyang flickered and disappeared without a trace. Just after he disappeared, the 4 invisible forces blasted into the desert. The yellow sand within a radius of several miles suddenly surged, drowning the void. And in the yellow sand, winged sand pythons exploded one after another. Fresh blood dyed the yellow sand red. The smell of blood was harsh. Damn human, come out and die for this emperor. The Sand Python Emperor was mad, its long and narrow snake eyes were bloodshot. You brought this upon yourselves. Lu Xingqian stood under the black storm, looking at the 2 beasts with a sneer. I'll kill you first. The Monkey King and the Sand Python Emperor rushed into the sky, full of killing intent. Kill me. Come in if you have the ability. Lu Xingqian smiled disdainfully, grabbed the rib, and directly went into the black storm. He dares to go in. The two beasts were dumbfounded. The Sand Python Emperor said, if he enters the storm, he will definitely die, don't worry about him. The Monkey King nodded. Is that so? Lu Xingqian's voice came out from the storm. Not dead. How is this possible? The two beasts' bodies stiffened, their eyes full of disbelief. Are you disappointed to hear my voice? We can come down from above, naturally we have some life-saving means. You can't even think of this, are you stupid? Lu Xingqian joked. The Monkey King and the Sand Python Emperor were mad, and their battle chi was like a rainbow, madly attacking the black storm. Lu Xingqian took a step and landed on the other side of the storm, sneering, don't waste your energy, it's useless. Come out if you have the guts. The Monkey King roared. Boom! At this moment, a few loud sounds came from below. The expressions of the two beasts changed abruptly. They hurriedly looked down and saw that Qin Feiyang had appeared again at some point. The arm that was shattered at first had already been repaired and was crazily bombarding the desert. The winged sand pythons suffered a devastating blow, and countless were killed or injured. Stop! The Sand Python Emperor anxiously roared. Chapter 487. After that, Qin Feiyang disappeared again. Monkey King and Sand Python King were extremely angry. If the other party was strong, they would feel better. But the key was that the other party was only two war emperors. War emperors used to be as small as ants in their eyes. However, at this moment, they were restrained everywhere. What could be more aggrieved than this? Aren't you guys very arrogant? Why don't you dare to come in? Lu Xingqian's provocative voice came out from the storm again. But Monkey King and Sand Python King ignored him. Because Qin Feiyang was the biggest threat. If they didn't have that hiding treasure, they had full confidence that they could kill the two of them with a flip of their hand. Swoosh! Suddenly, Qin Feiyang appeared out of thin air. His other arm had also been repaired. Monkey King and Sand Python King immediately took action. But Qin Feiyang used the ultimate void 4 times in a row, releasing 4 invisible forces and entered the ancient castle again. Although his speed was not as fast as Monkey King and the other two beasts, he could enter and exit the ancient castle with just a thought. Even if the two beasts' strength was heaven-defying, they couldn't hurt him at all. Boom! The invisible force roared in the sky and attacked in all directions. Many winged sand pythons were killed on the spot. One must know. Qin Feiyang was now a 6-star war emperor. With the help of the perfect battle art, killing a 9-star war emperor was easy. It could be said that he could already dominate the same realm. If he added the battle art and return art, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to call him the #1 person under the War Master. And the winged sand pythons in the desert, except for Sand Python King, were all war emperors. It could be said that this was a one-sided massacre. Sand Python King said anxiously, "Monkey, if he continues to kill like this, my people will definitely be killed by him. Quickly think of a way. What can I do?" Monkey King roared in exasperation. If there was a way, it would have killed Qin Feiyang a few months ago. We can't catch him. Pressure can't imprison him. Let's just do as he says. Sand Python King sighed helplessly. The Monkey King said, "How can that be?" The Sand Python Emperor said angrily, "Then tell me, what should I do?" The Monkey King wanted to say something, but he realized that he didn't know what to say. A deep sense of helplessness appeared in his 8 pupils. Alas! The Monkey King let out a long sigh and said loudly, "Qin Feiyang, come out. Let's have a good talk." Whoosh! The next moment, Qin Feiyang appeared out of thin air. He looked up at the two beasts and asked, "What do you want to talk about?" The Monkey King said, "I won't make things difficult for you, but when you leave, you have to return the Holy Monkey to me." Holy Monkey? Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed. After pondering for a moment, he smiled and said, "Wouldn't it have been better if you had done this earlier? Why do you have to make things unpleasant?" The Monkey King clenched his fists and suppressed the anger in his heart. He said, "I hope you can keep your word." Qin Feiyang said, "Of course. I, Qin Feiyang, always keep my word." The Sand Python Emperor said, "In fact, you don't need to keep looking for it, because the person you are looking for is not here at all. Whether he is here or not, we will know after looking for him." Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. The two beasts looked at each other, extremely angry. At this time, Lu Xingqian also flew out of the black storm and landed beside Qin Feiyang like lightning, returning the rib to Qin Feiyang. After Qin Feiyang put away the rib, he took a healing pill and rose into the air with Lu Xingqian and continued to fly forward. The Sand Python Emperor looked at their backs and asked the Monkey King, "What should we do?" The Monkey King's eyes flashed slightly, and he said in a deep voice, "The Holy Monkey is in their hands. I must follow them." Whoosh! As soon as he finished speaking, he took a step and followed behind Qin Feiyang and Lu Xingqian. The Sand Python Emperor hesitated for a moment and followed. An hour later, Lu Xingqian frowned and said, "Do you feel that something is wrong?" "What do you mean?" Qin Feiyang was puzzled. The Monkey King guarded the Holy Monkey in the area of the Black Stone Apes. In this desert, the Sand Python Emperor should also be guarding something. But along the way, we didn't see anything at all except for the yellow sand. Lu Xingqian said. Qin Feiyang said in surprise, "Do you mean that there is also a beast in this desert that sealed itself?" Lu Xingqian shook his head and said, "I'm just guessing. I can't be sure." This question, Qin Feiyang pondered for a moment and shook his head. There is no need to delve into this question. Even if there is, it has nothing to do with us. Our task is to find Renduxing. Lu Xingqian nodded. After flying for half a day, the two finally flew out of the desert. However, what came into their sight was another glacier forest. What's going on? Qin Feiyang and Lu Xingqian were puzzled. First it was a verdant forest, then it was a desert, and now it was a glacier forest. This was completely beyond common sense. Moreover, it was not snowing here. Moreover, there was a black storm above. Even if it was snowing, the snow would not float down. But why did this glacier exist? Whoosh! 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 Qin Feiyang and Lu Xingqian looked at each other and flew side by side above the glacier, carefully guarding against it. There was a kind of ferocious bird living in the forest. They looked very similar to eagles. But the difference was that they were snow-white and blended in with the glacier. If one did not look carefully, it would be difficult to notice them. What kind of eagles are these? Lu Xingqian frowned. Why was it another kind of ferocious bird that he had never seen before? Qin Feiyang thought for a moment and his eyes suddenly trembled. He whispered, "It's a species from 10,000 years ago, the snow eagle." Another species? Lu Xingqian's face was full of surprise. What kind of place was this? Why were there only species from 10,000 years ago living here? Whoosh! Suddenly, a loud and powerful screech sounded from the forest below. Then, a snow eagle flapped its wings. Its body was more than 10 meters long. It swept up a bone-piercing cold wind and rushed into the sky. How did humans come in? It glanced at Qin Feiyang and Lu Xingqian, its eagle eyes full of doubts. Glacier, desert, forest. Qin Feiyang, there must be some mystery here. Lu Xingqian looked at the snow eagle vigilantly and whispered. Because the aura of this snow eagle was not weaker than the Monkey King and the Sand Python Emperor. Qin Feiyang nodded. The snow eagle's eyes suddenly became sharp and shouted, "This emperor asked you a question, didn't you hear it? Eagle King, don't touch them." The Monkey King and the Sand Python Emperor rushed over and roared at the Blood Eagle. The Eagle King was stunned for a moment. His gaze swept past Qin Feiyang and locked onto the Monkey King and the other two beasts. He asked, "Why?" The Monkey King said, "The holy monkey is in their hands." "What?" The Eagle King's expression changed as he said angrily, "What are you doing? You actually let them take away the holy monkey?" The Monkey King sighed, "It's a long story." The Eagle King said coldly, "The holy monkey is in their hands, then all the more we can't let them go." The Sand Python Emperor hurriedly said, "Don't be rash." A trace of hostility appeared in the Eagle King's eyes as he said angrily, "What do you mean?" The Monkey King said, "Let them go first, we'll talk later." The Eagle King glanced at Qin Feiyang and Lu Xingqian, his eyes flickering. In the end, he spread his wings and retreated to the side. Qin Feiyang and Lu Xingqian looked at each other and flew past the Eagle King. But at this moment, the Eagle King suddenly attacked, his pressure roaring out, imprisoning the two of them in the air. Whoosh! Next, the Eagle King soared into the air, and then swooped down again. His pair of giant claws flashed with a cold light, grabbing towards Qin Feiyang and Lu Xingqian. Seeing this, the Monkey King and the Sand Whale Emperor's expressions changed. "Stop!" the Monkey King shouted. "A mere 2 war emperors are enough to make you all cower in fear. What a useless piece of trash." The Eagle King mocked, ignoring the two beasts, he charged towards Qin Feiyang and Lu Xingqian, his eyes filled with contempt. "Break!" Qin Feiyang growled, the blood in his body boiling. He instantly broke free from the restraints of the pressure, and the two of them disappeared into thin air. The Eagle King paused in the air, his eyeballs almost popping out. The two beasts came to the Eagle King's side. The Sand Python Emperor sighed, "Eagle King, they are not that easy to deal with." The Monkey King said helplessly, "Yeah, if they were easy to deal with, we would have killed them long ago." The Eagle King's face was a little embarrassed, his eyes were hazy as he asked, "What exactly is going on?" "We'll talk about it later." The Monkey King said, then said loudly, "Qin Feiyang, come out, the Eagle King will not harm you anymore." Shwa! Before he could finish, Qin Feiyang and Lu Xingqian appeared out of thin air. Qin Feiyang looked at the Monkey King and said solemnly, "If you dare to attack again, I will really kill the holy monkey." "How dare you?" the Eagle King shouted. "Try it." Qin Feiyang sneered. To others, a fierce beast of the War Master realm was an existence that they could not afford to provoke. But in his eyes, it was no big deal. The Eagle King's eagle eyes immediately shone with a sharp light, like sharp blades that pierced into people's hearts. The Monkey King shouted, "Eagle King, that's enough." It then looked at Qin Feiyang and said, "Don't waste time, quickly go and find them." Qin Feiyang and Lu Xingqian glanced at the Eagle King, then turned around and continued to search the glacier below. The three fierce beasts were all hanging behind them. At the same time, the Monkey King and the Sand Python Emperor also told the Eagle King about what had happened in the past few months. Hearing this, the Eagle King was extremely shocked. Especially Qin Feiyang's cultivation speed, it was extremely shocked. Another half a day passed. Qin Feiyang and Lu Xingqian finally left the glacier. The scenery in front of them had also changed greatly. It was actually an endless sea of fire. This, what's going on? The two of them were tongue-tied. Jungle, desert, glacier, sea of fire, what was the factor that created these four completely different places? Lu Xingchen pointed to the front and exclaimed, "Look, what kind of fierce beast is that?" Qin Feiyang looked over, only to see that the sea of fire was also filled with fierce beasts. Moreover, they were all of the same species. They looked like lions, but their heads were like dragons. Their fur was as red as fire, and they blended into the sea of fire, almost undetectable. Qin Feiyang looked at it for a moment, then his gaze trembled again, and said, "They are fire dragon lions, and also a species from 10,000 years ago." Lu Xingchen was already used to it. He was just puzzled. Why were all the fierce beasts from 10,000 years ago living in this canyon? What did this place have to do with 10,000 years ago? Chapter 488. Because Qin Feiyang had been to more places than Lu Xingchen. He also knew more than Lu Xingchen. Like the Forgotten Land. This place also had descendants from 10,000 years ago. And this canyon was full of descendants from 10,000 years ago. There might be some connection between the two. And the holy monkey. There was no doubt that it was also an antique from 10,000 years ago. What exactly happened 10,000 years ago that made the holy monkey choose to seal itself? 10,000 years ago, suddenly. Qin Feiyang's gaze trembled. He remembered that the great Qin Empire was also established 10,000 years ago. Could it be that all this was related to the first emperor? Why aren't they moving? Seeing this, the Monkey King behind them asked suspiciously. I don't know. The Sand Python King and the Eagle King shook their heads. After pondering for a moment, Qin Feiyang shook his head and said lightly, if you can't figure it out, then don't think about it. Let's continue to search. Lu Xingchen smiled faintly and said, then let's go. The two continued to move forward. Boom! But not long after they entered the sea of fire, a fierce aura erupted. A giant flame beast rushed into the sky and blocked in front of the two. It was also a fire dragon lion, but its body was more than 10 meters long. Its fan-like eyes seemed to be cast from magma, shining with an astonishing fierce light. Lion King, stop! Before the fire dragon lion could make a move, the Monkey King and the other two beasts spoke in unison. The Lion King glanced at the three beasts and said suspiciously, what's going on? There are humans who broke in, why don't you kill them? Don't block their way. Yes, don't block them. They are not to be trifled with. We will tell you the details later. The Theta Wang beast secretly transmitted its voice. The Lion King looked at Qin Feiyang and hesitated again and again, and finally chose to retreat to the side. Qin Feiyang and the Lion King continued to move forward. After the Monkey King and the other two beasts met up with the Lion King, they told the Lion King everything that had happened. After hearing this, the Lion King was also shocked. He also expressed that he wanted to go and help. Thus, another fire dragon lion was added to the group of ferocious beasts following behind Qin Feiyang. Lu Xingchen glanced at the Monkey King and the other two beasts out of the corner of his eye. He smiled bitterly and said, to be honest, I feel uneasy with them following behind me. Qin Feiyang did not answer. Because this was simply nonsense. Being targeted by 4 War Master Realm fierce beasts, who would feel at ease? However, along the way, other than ferocious beasts, not even half a ghost's shadow could be found, let alone Renduxing. Half a day passed. The two of them left the sea of fire and entered the sky above a forest. However, when they scanned the forest below, they couldn't help but frown. This was because there were countless blackstone apes in the forest. Lu Xingchen frowned. Don't tell me we took a big detour. Qin Feiyang said, if I remember correctly, we did take a big detour. The jungle was located to the east of the canyon. The desert was located in the south. The glacier was located in the west. The sea of fire was located in the north. They had set off from the forest, and now they had returned to the forest. In other words, they had searched the entire canyon. Lu Xingchen sighed, looks like we guessed wrong, Uncle Ren is not here. Let's look again. When we reach the cave where the holy monkey sealed itself, if we still haven't found it, we'll leave. Qin Feiyang said. Whiz. The two of them continued to fly and search carefully. The Monkey King and the other two beasts followed behind them the entire time, their eyes flickering with an inexplicable light. Another 4 hours passed. Qin Feiyang and Lu Xingchen arrived at the top of a mountain. On top of the mountain, there was a cave entrance. This cave was the place where the holy monkey sealed itself. Looking down at the canyon, their eyes were filled with disappointment. It seemed that this trip was in vain. Can you return the holy monkey to us now? The Monkey King stood in front of them, their eyes filled with ferocity. Qin Feiyang pondered for a moment, then looked up at the Monkey King and said, I don't understand. Since there are no other humans here, why can your monkeys recover their lost arms and heads? The Monkey King said in a low voice, that's none of your business. This is too important. I have to figure it out. After Qin Feiyang finished speaking, he took out the Chang Shui and the holy monkey from the castle. If you don't tell me, I'll kill it now. How dare you? The Monkey King and the other two beasts were furious. Qin Feiyang said, whether I dare or not, you should know very well in your hearts. The four beasts fell silent. Although they had not known each other for long, it was not difficult to see that this person was a daring person from his actions. Qin Feiyang's eyes turned cold. He placed the Chang Shui on the holy monkey's neck and shouted, my patience is limited. Tell me, who made the pills for you? What should we do? The Monkey King was extremely anxious. He sent a voice transmission to Theta Wang for help. The Lion King thought, compared to that thing, the holy monkey is more important. The Eagle King said, that's right, it must not die. The Sand Python King said, why don't we tell them first? When they return the holy monkey to us, we can go all out and fight them to the end. The Monkey King's eyes flashed fiercely. He looked at Qin Feiyang and said, fine, I'll tell you. It's not because of the pills that they can recover their heads and arms. Qin Feiyang and the Lion King were shocked. Lu Xingchen said, then why? The Monkey King said, a cluster of flames. This flame is very magical and has the ability to heal. Although it can't grow flesh and bones and bring the dead back to life, it can easily heal injuries. Flames. The two of them looked at each other. This answer was completely beyond their expectations. Lu Xingchen frowned and whispered, what kind of flame has such an ability? I don't know either. Qin Feiyang shook his head and looked at the Monkey King, where is the flame? What do you want to do? Let me tell you, you'd better not have any ideas about that flame. The Monkey King said in a deep voice. Qin Feiyang said, if you didn't say that, I wouldn't be interested, but now, I really want to take a look. The Monkey King stared at Qin Feiyang gloomily and said, then give us the holy monkey first. Impossible. You can't hide what you're thinking from me. Before we leave, don't even think about the holy monkey. Qin Feiyang said. The four beasts were helpless to the extreme. Why was this human like a fox? Cunning old fox. It seems that you don't want the holy monkey's life. Qin Feiyang's eyes turned cold. Chang Shui exerted a little force and slashed at the holy monkey's neck. Seeing this, the Monkey King's face suddenly changed, and he hurriedly reached out and shouted, don't, I'll take you there. Qin Feiyang said, then hurry up, don't wear out my patience. This is too sullen, I can't help it. The Sand Python Emperor roared and rushed toward Qin Feiyang and the Monkey King like lightning. This sudden and unforeseen event made Qin Feiyang and his two companions as well as the Monkey King and his three beasts startled. Because they didn't expect that the Sand Python Emperor would suddenly attack at this time, regardless of the life and death of the holy monkey. Lu Xingchen quivered and shouted, Brother Qin, retreat first. Qin Feiyang didn't dare to hesitate and immediately took the holy monkey and Lu Xingqian into the castle. However, just before they entered the castle, the Sand Python Emperor released a terrifying pressure and imprisoned them in the void. At the same time, the whole tail of the Sand Python Emperor suddenly exploded, and flesh and blood flew everywhere. Immediately after, a large amount of blood was like a wave, drenching the holy monkey. Qin Feiyang held the holy monkey hostage, and his body was naturally full of blood. What's the situation? Qin Feiyang and the Monkey King couldn't help but be stunned. Didn't it want to kill them? Why did it explode its tail instead? The Monkey King, the Eagle King, and the Lion King were also in a daze, not understanding what the Sand Python Emperor was doing. But the next moment, whether it was Qin Feiyang, the Monkey King, or the Monkey King, they all understood. The Sand Python Emperor was going to wake up the holy monkey. It was only because all of this had happened too suddenly and too quickly that they were unable to react at the first possible moment. Boom! However, when Qin Feiyang and the Monkey King understood, the sleeping holy monkey in front of them suddenly burst out a terrifying aura. This aura made Qin Feiyang and the Monkey King tremble both physically and mentally. At this moment, they felt like a drop in the ocean, insignificant. Lu Xingqian shouted, "Not good, the holy monkey is going to wake up, kill it quickly. Break for me." Qin Feiyang's eyes darkened, and with a hysterical roar, he broke free from the shackles of the pressure and stabbed the Chang Shui towards the holy monkey's heart. The Sand Python Emperor shouted, "Monkey, quick!" Boom! Although the Sand Python Emperor didn't say it clearly, the Monkey King understood. The pressure of the War Master burst out, overwhelming Qin Feiyang. Immediately, Qin Feiyang was imprisoned again. "Are you done yet? Break!" Qin Feiyang roared and forcibly broke free from the shackles. The Chang Shui went straight to the holy monkey's heart. At this moment, the Chang Shui was only a finger away from the heart. It could be said that it was close at hand. But at this time, the Eagle King and the Lion King also released their pressure at the same time, and rushed towards Qin Feiyang like an avalanche. At the same time, the four beasts also used their own methods to kill the two. Especially the venom that the Sand Python Emperor spat out, it made one's hair stand on end. Lu Xingqian anxiously roared, "Brother Qin, don't delay any longer, retreat quickly." The Monkey King and the other beasts would never allow them to kill the holy monkey. And once the holy monkey woke up, it would be their doomsday. Qin Feiyang's eyes were gloomy like water. They were right in front of him, but they couldn't kill the holy monkey. He didn't expect these four beasts to have such a tacit understanding. But the holy monkey must die. Break! He gritted his teeth, broke free from the shackles of the pressure, grabbed Lu Xingqian and the holy monkey, and entered the castle. Just as he entered the castle, the holy monkey's tightly shut eyes suddenly opened, and two cold beams of light shot out from his eyes. At the same time, there was a trace of confusion. "Boss, it's awake!" Fatso exclaimed. Fatso and the others were already awakened and the Sand Python Emperor suddenly went berserk. At this moment, when they saw the holy monkey open its eyes, they all changed color. "Kill it even if it's awake." Qin Feiyang's eyes surged with murderous intent. Without the shackles of the pressure, Chang Shui was like a bolt of lightning, plunging into the holy monkey's heart. Fresh blood gushed out like a fountain. The severe pain made the holy monkey wake up completely. It lowered its head and glanced at the dagger in its chest, before glancing at Fatty and the others. A shocking aura burst out from it. In an instant, it shrouded the entire castle. Puff! Fatso and the others trembled immediately, and blood spurted out from their mouths. The skin of Lin Yi, Luo Qianxue, Lu Hong, and Fatso, who were the weakest, cracked like a spider web. Blood instantly dyed their bodies red. Chapter 489. Looking at this scene, Qin Feiyang was greatly shocked. Because even he was imprisoned and could not move at all. Moreover, no matter how he struggled, he could not break free from the restraints of the pressure. It was hard to imagine how terrifying the holy monkey's strength was. Doing this was simply inviting a wolf into the house. The holy monkey suddenly raised its arm and grabbed Qin Feiyang's wrist. With a light pinch, the wrist was crushed with a crack. Qin Feiyang grimaced in pain. Next, the holy monkey pulled out the Chang Shui and turned to look at Qin Feiyang. The 10 pupils on its 5 heads were filled with a shocking ferocious light. Who is ruling this area now? However, Qin Feiyang's heart was filled with disbelief. Why was the holy monkey fine? Could it be that the blade did not pierce its heart? The holy monkey said, "Human, answer this holy monkey immediately." This holy monkey. Qin Feiyang's expression changed. According to historical records, 10,000 years ago, only 9-star battle sages were qualified to be called holy monkey. Above the battle master was the battle sage. 1-star to 8-star battle sages could not be called holy monkey. In other words, the holy monkey was a 9-star battle sage. Qin Feiyang calmed his mind and said, "The one ruling this area now is the Great Qin Empire." Great Qin. The holy monkey's eyes suddenly flashed with a sharp light. How long has the Great Qin Empire been established? 10,000 years. Qin Feiyang said. So fast, 10,000 years have passed. But even with the passage of time, it can't change the nature of you humans. Cunning, despicable, shameless. The holy monkey said with a tone of resentment that could not be dispelled. But hearing these words, Qin Feiyang's heart directly set off stormy waves. The holy monkey was actually in existence from 10,000 years ago. This was too shocking. The holy monkey said, "Is Qin Badian still alive?" Qin Feiyang was shocked. The holy monkey knew about Qin Badian. One must know that even in the current Great Qin Empire, there were very few people who knew the name Qin Badian. This was because Qin Badian was none other than the name of the first emperor of the Great Qin Empire. However, the later generations all respectfully addressed him as the Qin Emperor. Only a few people from the emperor's bloodline still remembered his real name. Since the holy monkey called out this name as soon as it woke up, it was enough to show that the holy monkey and the first emperor knew each other. Moreover, there was a deep hatred between them. It seemed that the remnant of this Grand Canyon was really related to the first emperor. The monkey said, "Didn't you hear what I asked you?" Qin Feiyang shook his head. "I don't know who Qin Badian is." "Don't know." The holy monkey looked at Qin Feiyang suspiciously and said contemptuously, "It seems that you are just a nobody. In that case, there is no need to keep you alive." It raised its large hand and slapped toward Qin Feiyang's head. Seeing this, Fatso and the others were anxious, but they couldn't even protect themselves, let alone rescue Qin Feiyang. Seeing that Qin Feiyang was about to be killed, the holy monkey suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood and its body trembled violently. The pressure also disappeared. Qin Feiyang's eyes lit up. It must be that slash just now that hit the holy monkey's heart. However, because the holy monkey was too strong, it only began to react now. This was undoubtedly a good opportunity for him. Without any hesitation, he reached out with lightning speed and snatched pale snow from Sage Monkey's hands. Then, with a wave of his hand, he threw Sage Monkey out of the castle. Outside, the Monkey King and the other 2 beasts were furious. However, when they saw the holy monkey suddenly appear, the 4 beasts were overjoyed. They hurriedly surrounded it and said respectfully, "Greetings, Lord Holy Monkey." Puff! The holy monkey spat out another mouthful of blood. The Monkey King's pupils shrank and said hurriedly, "Lord Holy Monkey, what happened to you? Did Qin Feiyang do something to you?" Who is Qin Feiyang? The holy monkey was suspicious. The Monkey King said, it's the human who was held hostage. So his surname is Qin. Could he be a descendant of Qin Batian? And that secret room and dagger just now, they seem a little familiar. The holy monkey pondered and didn't seem to be worried about its injuries. The Monkey King said, Lord Holy Monkey, please come with us to heal your injuries. The holy monkey looked around and asked doubtfully, who are you? The Monkey King said respectfully, Lord, I am your guardian. The black stone apes in this area are also protecting you. I see. The holy monkey revealed a look of realization and looked at Theta Wang. You are the guardians of the holy eagle, holy lion, and holy python. Yes. Eagle King and the other two beasts respectfully replied. The Monkey King said anxiously, Lord Holy Monkey, if you have any questions, can you ask after your injuries are healed? The holy monkey glanced at the canyon and said, this holy monkey's heart was pierced by that human. It really needs to be repaired as soon as possible. Let's go. Your heart was pierced. The four beasts were shocked. They hurriedly took the holy monkey and flew toward the cave where the holy monkey sealed itself. Inside the castle. As soon as the holy monkey was thrown out, Qin Feiyang and others collapsed on the ground, gasping for breath. They all looked like they had just survived a disaster. After listening to the conversation between the holy monkey and the four beasts, Qin Feiyang let out a long breath. He got up and walked to Luo Qianxue and the others. He asked with concern, are you all okay? I'm fine. Luo Qianxue shook her head. However, as soon as she finished speaking, she fell to the ground. Bang! Lu Hong, Lin Yi, and Fatso also fell down. Qin Feiyang's face changed, and he hurriedly checked the situation of the three. The pangolin and Lu Xingchen also quickly surrounded them. They were all battle emperors, so their situation would be better. As long as they took the healing pill in time, they would be fine. The pangolin asked, how are they? Qin Feiyang said in a deep voice, it's not optimistic, but their lives are not in danger. They just fainted, but it's hard to say when they will wake up. The holy monkey's aura was too strong. Although it didn't make a move, the three of them were greatly injured. Damn bastard! The pangolin cursed angrily. Lu Xingchen sighed, this is already considered good. If the holy monkey had killed us as soon as he woke up, none of us would have survived today. Qin Feiyang nodded, then took out 6 healing pills and gave one to Lu Xingchen and the pangolin. He took one for himself. As for the other 3, he gave one to Fatso and the other 2. After Lu Xingchen took the healing pill, he looked at Qin Feiyang and said, Uncle Ren is definitely not here. Let's leave the canyon while the holy monkey is healing. Leave? Qin Feiyang frowned. Luo Qianxue and the others almost lost their lives because of this. If they left just like this, it would be too easy for this group of beasts. Lu Xingchen seemed to have seen through his thoughts and hurriedly said, Brother Qin, now is not the time to be loyal. The pangolin also advised, yes, revenge is a dish best served cold. Don't be rash. Then let's go. Qin Feiyang waved his hand and led Lu Xingchen out of the castle. Then, he took out 2 ribs and handed one to Lu Xingchen, then rushed toward the black storm above. But along the way, his eyes were flickering. After a few breaths, the 2 entered the black storm one after another. His ribs recovered on their own, blocking the destructive storm outside. However, not long after entering the storm, Qin Feiyang suddenly stopped. What's wrong? Lu Xingchen was puzzled. Qin Feiyang said in a low voice, I still have something to do. You leave first. No. You heard what the holy monkey said just now. Stabbing its heart can't kill it at all. When its heart is repaired, you will only have a dead end. Lu Xingchen hurriedly said. That's why I have to go. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed. He turned in the air and swooped down toward the canyon below. Why is this guy so stubborn? Lu Xingchen was a little annoyed. His eyes flickered, and he also turned and flew down. In fact, he didn't know that Qin Feiyang had a reason to go. If he guessed correctly, the holy monkey should be looking for that cluster of flames to repair its heart. And the heart, the sea of energy, and the sea of consciousness were the three most important parts of the human body. Since the heart could be repaired, the sea of consciousness should also be repaired. And this trip to the ruins, looking for Renduxing, was only secondary. His main goal was to repair Wolf King's sea of consciousness. Therefore, he had to take a gamble. Whoosh! Qin Feiyang was like a stream of light, sweeping out of the black storm. He stood above the forest and scanned the area below. Previously, the Holy Monkey King didn't say where he was going to recuperate. Therefore, he didn't know where the cluster of flames was now. However, this wasn't a problem for him. Murderous intent flashed in his eyes. He raised his arm and pointed his index finger in the air. Ultimate. The formless energy transformed into a torrential torrent, surging violently as it whizzed downwards. Boom! Accompanied by an earth-shattering sound, the land within a radius of thousands of meters was instantly razed to the ground. Countless blackstone apes had lost their lives. Whoosh! Following closely. Qin Feiyang restrained his aura and swooped down. He hid in a large tree with luxuriant foliage and looked around. This move was to lure the snake out of its hole. Indeed. Not long after, two beast figures rushed out of the cave. Qin Feiyang noticed it immediately. They were the Monkey King and the Eagle King. It turned out that the flame was in the cave. However, he felt that it was strange. He had been to the cave before and didn't see any flames at all. Could it be that there was a secret door or something? Above the mountain peak. The Eagle King and the Monkey King looked down in all directions. The Monkey King said gloomily, "It must be those two damned humans causing trouble again. Let them cause trouble then. When the holy monkey's heart is repaired, it will be their time of death." The Eagle King sneered. The Monkey King nodded and snorted. "At that time, I'd like to see what other tricks they can play." The Eagle King said, "Go in and guard. I'll stay here to prevent them from sneaking in and disturbing Lord Holy Monkey." "There's no need. Because even if they barge in, they won't be able to find the location of the flame. Furthermore, I can't wait for them to sneak in. Because that way, they will be like turtles in a jar and won't be able to escape." The Monkey King sneered coldly. Whoosh! The two beasts turned and rushed into the cave, disappearing. Qin Feiyang rushed out of the tree, glanced at the cave at the mountain peak, and rushed toward the mountain peak. At the same time, his eyes shone with a determined light. Chapter 490. Lu Xingchen did not appear. He stood in the black storm and watched Qin Feiyang enter the cave. His eyes flashed with an inexplicable brilliance. Inside the cave, Qin Feiyang walked slowly. His aura was completely restrained. His fiery battle aura gushed out from his palms, illuminating the surroundings. With the help of the fire, he carefully scanned the ground and walls on both sides, not letting go of any suspicious places. But he did not find anything along the way. If only the white-eyed wolf was here. Qin Feiyang could not help but sigh. The Wolf King's nose was very sensitive. It would be a piece of cake for it to track him down. A moment later, he came to the ice cave again. Because the holy monkey had left, the remaining ice had melted and turned into a stone cave of about 10 feet. Qin Feiyang searched for a while in the stone cave, but did not find anything like a secret door. He could not help but grumble in his heart. Where was this flame hidden? He went back the way he came, and his footsteps were even slower. When he reached a corner, a low rumble suddenly sounded in front of him. He hurriedly dispersed his fiery battle aura and hid in the darkness. He looked out and saw the wall 100 meters in front of him was cracking continuously. There it is. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed, and he decisively entered the castle. The holy monkey had sealed itself for 10,000 years, and its cultivation was definitely not as strong as before. But after all, its foundation was still there. Its insight and sensitivity were also extraordinary. If he continued to stay in the secret passage, he might be discovered by it. Rumble. After the wall cracked open, a few beasts walked out. The leader was the holy monkey. Next was the Monkey King and the other two beasts. They all looked very respectful. As Holy Monkey walked outside, he asked, "Are those two humans still causing trouble outside?" "Yes." The Monkey King nodded. The Holy Monkey's eyes flashed with killing intent. "We can't let them leave the canyon alive. Later, you guys go and wait." "Lord Holy Monkey, I'm afraid it's useless for us to wait. Because they are alchemists and must have a lot of resources. They are not afraid of wasting time with us." The Monkey King said. "So what if they are alchemists? This saint doesn't believe that the resources they have are enough for them to reach the battle saint level. Besides, even if they are battle saints, they are nothing to worry about. Killing them is as easy as flipping my hand." Sage Monkey said domineeringly. He had heard of it. Monkey King and the other three also laughed. That was right. No matter how many resources there was a limit. And the amount of resources needed to cultivate from a battle emperor to a battle saint was unimaginable. In addition, with the sage monkey holding the fort, it would not be a problem to exhaust them to death. The Monkey King asked cautiously, "Lord Sacred Monkey, you have sealed yourself for 10,000 years. Has your cultivation dropped?" "Yes." The sage monkey nodded and said, "This sage's cultivation has already fallen to the level of a 2-star battle saint. Therefore, I must immediately go into seclusion and recover to my peak state as soon as possible." The Monkey King said, "Then you can go into seclusion here, lest those two humans disturb you." "No, the 4 of you won't be able to stop them. I will go into seclusion outside. As long as they come out, I will be able to detect them immediately." The monkey said. "Lord Holy Monkey is wise." There was a look of worship in the eyes of the 4 beasts. When they walked out of the cave, Qin Feiyang appeared out of thin air and quietly walked to the front of the wall. Flaming battle chi gushed out. It was as bright as day here. However, no matter how he looked, he could not find the seam. The entire wall was one piece. Who designed this? It's too perfect. Qin Feiyang muttered, frowning slightly, and began to look for the mechanism. This kind of secret door usually had a mechanism. But in the end, he did not find the mechanism. How is this possible? He found it hard to accept in his heart and unwillingly began to search again. At the same time, outside, the sage monkey sat cross-legged on a large rock at the peak of the mountain, closing his eyes and meditating. The Monkey King and the other 2 beasts floated side by side at the edge of the mountain peak, scanning the forest below, their eyes flashing. In the forest, there was no movement at all. Qin Feiyang has already entered the cave. Quickly go and stop him, otherwise the flame will definitely be taken away by him. But suddenly, a voice rang in the minds of the sage monkey and the Monkey King at the same time. The Monkey King and the other 2 beasts were extremely bewildered. The sage monkey also suddenly opened his eyes filled with shock. He suddenly stood up, scanned his surroundings, and shouted, "Who are you? Please come out and meet me." One had to know. He was a war saint, and to be able to silently send a sound transmission to him, his strength was definitely not weak. Moreover, even Qin Feiyang knew that he had entered the cave, which meant that this person had been hiding nearby, paying attention to everything. The most important thing was that he was actually able to hide from its perception. This was unbelievable. But after waiting for a long time, the mysterious voice did not sound again. The sage monkey retracted his gaze, looked at the Monkey King and the other two beasts, and said in a deep voice, "Are there any other creatures or humans in this canyon?" "There is a human." The Monkey King and the other two beasts nodded. "Who?" The sage monkey's eyes suddenly burst out with a strong cold light. The Monkey King said, "His name is Renduxing, he entered the canyon a few decades ago." The sage monkey said angrily, "Why didn't you kill him? Could it be that his strength is stronger than yours?" The Monkey King shrunk his neck and hurriedly said, "When he entered the canyon, he was only a 7-star war emperor. We also wanted to kill him at that time, but we couldn't." "Why?" The sage monkey was puzzled. The Monkey King said, "He found the master's inheritance, and also obtained the master's inheritance." "What?" The sage monkey's eyes widened, full of disbelief, and his breathing became rapid. "Where is he? Bring this sage to see him immediately." "We don't know either. His whereabouts are erratic, unless he takes the initiative to appear, otherwise, it is impossible to find him." The Monkey King and the other two beasts shook their heads. The sage monkey said, "Then was the voice just now him?" "No." The four beasts shook their heads again. They were also puzzled in their hearts. If it was not Renduxing, who could it be? The sage monkey pondered for a while and said, "Don't worry about who this person is first. Sand python, fire dragon, lion, you two guard outside. Snow eagle, monkey, you two follow this sage into the cave." Whoosh! After saying that, the sage monkey flashed and rushed into the cave, its speed faster than lightning, as if it was teleporting. The Eagle King and the Monkey King hurriedly followed. The Sand Python King and the Lion King blocked the entrance of the cave. In the cave, Qin Feiyang stood in front of the wall, frowning. No matter how he looked, he could not find the mechanism. If there was no mechanism, then how did this secret door open? Suddenly, he thought of the Pill Pagoda. The door of the Pill Pagoda, as well as the stone door of the secret room where the heavenly thunder flame was placed, required the blood of the pagoda master to open. Could it be that this secret door also required the blood of the Monkey King to open? If that was the case, then it would be troublesome. Suddenly, he turned his head to look at the end of the passage, and his face suddenly changed. Swish! In the next moment, he disappeared without a trace. The moment he disappeared, the holy monkey landed in front of the wall with a gloomy look in his eyes. Soon, the Eagle King and the Monkey King also rushed over. The Monkey King asked, "Lord Sage Monkey, have you found Qin Feiyang?" "No. But just now, this sage saw a fire here, it should be him without a doubt. It seems that he has found the secret door." The sage monkey said. The Monkey King said angrily, "He can even find this, why is this human so difficult to deal with?" The Eagle King said disdainfully, "So what if he's difficult to deal with, this emperor doesn't believe that he can open this secret door." The Monkey King laughed coldly as well, and then he turned to look at the Saint Monkey and said, "My lord, Qin Feiyang is probably hiding within that spatial treasure right now. Moreover, according to my observations, he's able to hear the commotion outside." Space treasure. The sage monkey's eyes flashed, and said, "This sage will cultivate here from now on, you guys can go out." "Yes." The Monkey King and the Eagle King respectfully replied, then turned and quickly left. With Lord Sage Monkey personally guarding, Qin Feiyang wanting to escape was simply a dream. The Sage Monkey scanned the air, and said, "Qin Feiyang, come out, let's talk." Inside the castle, the pangolin looked at Qin Feiyang, and said, "You can't go out." The pressure of a battle sage was too strong. Once Qin Feiyang was imprisoned, he would not be able to enter the castle. At that time, only death would await. "We have to go out." Because it is determined to guard us, if we don't go out, we will be trapped here alive. But there is one thing that I don't understand, how did they know that I was in the cave? Qin Feiyang frowned. The pangolin was surprised, could it be that Lu Xingchen betrayed you? This, Qin Feiyang hesitated, not daring to jump to conclusions. Forget it, don't think about it, just go out and ask it. Swoosh! Qin Feiyang flashed, and appeared in the secret passage. The secret passage was so dark that one could not even see one's fingers. But Qin Feiyang could feel that the sage monkey was in front of him. Because he could clearly feel the sage monkey's breathing and heartbeat. Buzz! Qin Feiyang waved his hand, and flaming battle chi appeared, illuminating the place. Sure enough. The sage monkey stood 1 meter away from him, and looked at Qin Feiyang. If this sage wanted to kill you, you would be dead now. Qin Feiyang did not deny it. Because what the sage monkey said was true. With the sage monkey's strength, it could kill him the moment he appeared. Qin Feiyang did not talk nonsense, and asked suspiciously, how did you know that I was in the cave? Don't worry about that. This sage only wants that space treasure of yours, as long as you give it to me with both hands, this sage will let you go. The sage monkey's eyes were full of greed. Qin Feiyang said lightly, if I wanted to leave, I would have left when your heart was repaired. The sage monkey was slightly stunned, and asked in confusion, then why didn't you leave? Qin Feiyang said, I want to save a partner, I need the flame behind this secret passage. Partner? The sage monkey looked at him in surprise, and mocked, I didn't expect you to be a sentimental and righteous human. If you let me in, I can give you other things, but the space treasure is absolutely impossible. Qin Feiyang completely ignored the sage monkey's mockery. Even this sage can't capture your space treasure, which means it's not an ordinary thing. Tell me, what else do you have that is more valuable? The sage monkey said. Qin Feiyang fell silent. To be honest, there was really nothing that could be compared with the ancient castle. Even Zhang Shui was probably inferior by a lot. But it was impossible for him to hand over the ancient castle. Chapter 491. The holy monkey chuckled and said, it seems that the negotiation is about to break down. Although the holy monkey's tone did not have any killing intent, Qin Feiyang's body tensed up and he entered the ancient castle without hesitation. Boom! However, the holy monkey seemed to have seen through his thoughts. Pressure emerged and instantly imprisoned Qin Feiyang. I heard from the Monkey King that you can break free from the battle sex restraint. This means that you are very capable. Why don't we make a bet? If you can break free from this saint's pressure, this saint will let you live. And as you wish, I will lend you my flame. The holy monkey said lightly, his eyes full of contempt. Qin Feiyang's face was as dark as water. The pressure of a battle sage was so terrifying that he could not even blink, let alone break free. Moreover, this was not the full extent of the holy monkey's pressure. If the holy monkey's pressure was fully unleashed, even the blood in his body would be imprisoned. However, this was his only chance. Break! He roared in his heart. The power in his body surged and the veins on his forehead bulged. His face was distorted, his teeth were bared, and his eyes were cracked. At this moment, he looked extremely ferocious. Can you do it or not? The holy monkey looked at him playfully. It loved the game of toying with people in the palm of its hand the most. Especially when it saw the other party struggle but was unable to change the outcome. In the end, he was drowned in helplessness and showed a look of despair. It felt very good. I can definitely do it. Qin Feiyang roared in his heart. The veins all over his body bulged and his eyes were red. Was he angry? It would be a lie to say that he was not angry. The holy monkey was high and mighty, and he relied on his strength to act like a tyrant. No matter who it was, they would be enraged. However, there was no point in being angry now. He could only break free and prove to the holy monkey that he, Qin Feiyang, was not a fish to be slaughtered. The veins on his forehead and neck had already torn his skin and revealed from his flesh. Many of his veins had even burst. "Break for me!" Suddenly, Qin Feiyang roared hysterically and took a step forward with his trembling right foot. "What?" The monkey was dumbfounded. The contempt from before disappeared in an instant and was replaced by shock. He could actually move. How was this possible? Are my eyes playing tricks on me? It rubbed its eyes hard and fixed its gaze on it again. Qin Feiyang had indeed moved a step. Its heart was instantly filled with perilous waves. Although it was only a 2-star battle saint, this human brat was only a 6-star battle emperor. There was a difference of more than 10 levels between them. However, he was still able to move under its pressure. Although it was only one step, it was already shocking enough. Looking at Qin Feiyang again, he was already drenched in sweat. Large beads of sweat mixed with his blood and dyed his entire body red. But looking at the monkey's current expression, he was very happy. Something's not right. Something must have gone wrong. The holy monkey sized up Qin Feiyang and stepped forward, tearing apart Qin Feiyang's clothes. Immediately, its gaze was locked onto the potential imprint on Qin Feiyang's chest. As expected, this human brat had unlocked the door of potential. But then, its body trembled violently. Its gaze had already moved away from the potential imprint and locked onto the concentric knot on Qin Feiyang's chest. How is this possible? It's actually the concentric knot. The holy monkey's 5 pairs of eyes almost popped out of their sockets. How does it know about the concentric knot? Qin Feiyang was bewildered. But after thinking about it, he felt relieved. The mermaid clan was a species from 10,000 years ago, and the holy monkey was also in existence from 10,000 years ago. It didn't seem strange that it knew about the concentric knot. The holy monkey suddenly came back to its senses and hurriedly said, "Tell this holy monkey, where is the mermaid clan living now?" At the same time, the pressure loosened. However, it did not completely loosen. It was imprisoning Qin Feiyang. Immediately, Qin Feiyang panted heavily. When he regained his strength, he couldn't help but mutter in his heart. Why did the holy monkey look a little excited? Could it be that this damn monkey had some relationship with the mermaid clan? The holy monkey roared, "Answer me quickly." Phew! He let out a long breath, looked up at the holy monkey, and asked with confusion in his eyes, "Isn't the mermaid clan a legend? Don't play dumb with this holy monkey." The holy monkey suddenly became fierce. Qin Feiyang hurriedly said, "I'm not playing dumb, I really don't know what the mermaid clan is." The holy monkey suppressed the anger in its heart and asked, "Then what's the concentric knot on your chest?" "This is the concentric knot." Qin Feiyang was stunned and asked suspiciously, "What's the concentric knot?" "Bastard, are you playing with me?" The holy monkey was furious, and its pressure skyrocketed. Qin Feiyang was once again firmly imprisoned in the void. Moreover, the pressure was even more terrifying than before. All the pores on his body were spurting blood. He couldn't even open his mouth to speak. He made a whimpering sound, his face full of innocence. Seeing this, the holy monkey was suspicious. Did this person really not know? Following closely, Qin Feiyang felt the pressure was weakening. Finally, he let out a long breath. If it weren't for the restraint of the pressure, he would have collapsed to the ground. It wasn't that he was spineless, but that the holy monkey's pressure was too terrifying. He had no power to resist at all. The holy monkey asked, "Then how did you get this concentric knot?" Qin Feiyang shook his head and said, "I don't know. One day 2 years ago, when I was training outside, I was plotted against by several enemies. I was seriously injured and fell into a coma. When I woke up, there was this mark." "How is that possible?" The holy monkey's eyes were full of doubts. Qin Feiyang said, "I'm telling the truth, please believe me." No matter whether the holy monkey and the mermaid clan were enemies or friends, he couldn't reveal the habitat of the mermaid clan. After all, this matter was too important. He didn't want the mermaid princess to be in danger. Since you don't know anything, then there's no point in keeping you. Go to hell. The holy monkey was ferocious, and the pressure completely erupted. Qin Feiyang's whole body suddenly spurted blood. His body was about to explode. The heart-wrenching pain made him wish he was dead. Generally speaking, whether it was a human or a beast, they would cry out when they were in severe pain. Because in this way, their emotions could be vented and the pain could be reduced. But now Qin Feiyang was firmly imprisoned by the pressure. Not to mention crying out, he couldn't even move his lower lip. Even if his body was torn apart, he could only bear it silently. His consciousness was also rapidly fading. Am I going to die? Qin Feiyang muttered to himself in his heart. He had never felt the aura of death like this. I haven't returned to the capital to take back everything that belongs to me, Mother is still waiting for me, Uncle Yuan is also waiting for me, I'm really unwilling. I don't want to die. I can't die. I still have a lot of things to do. If I die now, everything will become a regret. Qin Feiyang's heart surged with a strong desire to survive. His blood also began to boil. Clang! All of a sudden, an ear-piercing sound exploded, as if a peerless divine sword was unsheathed. It almost tore one's eardrums apart. Qin Feiyang's Qiankuan pouch shot out a streak of light. It was none other than Chang Shui. But at this moment, Chang Shui was blooming with thousands of rays of light. At first glance, it looked like a peerless divine jade, exuding boundless light. Dagger. Seeing Chang Shui appear, the holy monkey's eyes suddenly emitted a green light. Its arm burst out and grabbed at Chang Shui. No! Qin Feiyang roared, but he couldn't shout, let alone stop the holy monkey. He could only be anxious. But seeing that the holy monkey was about to grab Chang Shui automatically slashed in the air. A shocking scene appeared. A crack actually appeared in the void. Immediately after, Chang Shui unleashed a powerful divine might that swept up Qin Feiyang. Then, he escaped into the void and disappeared without a trace. The crack in the void quickly closed as well. How could this be? The holy monkey looked at the void in front of it, dumbfounded. A peerless treasure. All of a sudden, it quivered, and its eyes couldn't help but tremble. It automatically protected its owner and recovered on its own. It could also easily cut open the void and escape with its owner. This was definitely a peerless treasure. Swoosh! It flashed a few times and rushed out of the secret passage. It stood in the air above the mountain peak and scanned the surroundings. The Monkey King and the four beasts looked at each other, their eyes full of surprise. Whoosh! The four beasts flew into the sky and hovered in front of the holy monkey. The Monkey King said respectfully, Lord Holy Monkey, have you caught Qin Feiyang? Don't bother this holy monkey. The Monkey King shouted and carefully searched every place. Why was there no one? Could it be that the dagger had taken him and directly escaped from this canyon? Seeing this, the Monkey King and the four beasts were all puzzled. The Eagle King asked carefully, Lord Holy Monkey, did something happen? The Holy Monkey said, Qin Feiyang escaped. What? He can escape even like this? It shouldn't be. The four beasts were suspicious, but they didn't dare to show it. The Eagle King said, then what should we do now? The Holy Monkey said, he shouldn't have escaped from the canyon yet. Quickly go and look for him. Once you find any traces of him, immediately inform this holy monkey. Yes. The Monkey King and the four beasts responded respectfully and split into two groups, starting a carpet search. The dagger, the ancient castle, this holy monkey must get it. The holy monkey muttered, his 10 pupils filled with greed. Swish. Back to Qin Feiyang. Chang Shui brought him to a very unfamiliar place. This was a completely sealed stone room. It was about 100 feet in size, but there were no decorations. However, in the middle of the stone room, there was a cluster of palm-sized flames floating in the air. That flame was green all over, like jade, and it spewed out wisps of green brilliance. This green brilliance contained an extremely majestic life force. The entire stone room was also filled with rich life force. As soon as Qin Feiyang appeared, he didn't need to absorb it at all. The green brilliance automatically flowed into his body through the pores all over his body. The injuries on his body began to heal at a speed visible to the naked eye. Where is this? Qin Feiyang was a little dazed. Such a place was simply a paradise for the injured. Flames. When he noticed the cluster of green flames, his expression was slightly stunned, and then a thought crawled into his mind. Chapter 492. The green flames flickered continuously, and the majestic vitality filled every corner. Qin Feiyang felt like he was dreaming. It didn't feel real. How did he get here? He looked down at the void in front of him. Chang Shui was suspended in the void. The light had faded, and its body was white and flawless. It could be called a masterpiece of the heavens. The more Qin Feiyang looked at it, the more surprised he became. He thought that Chang Shui was only sharp, but he didn't expect it to be able to revive itself, let alone travel through time. Traversing time and space, in his understanding, was simply a fantasy story. But now, it was really happening to him. He reached out and grabbed Chang Shui, looking at it curiously for a moment. A wisp of red sword qi emerged and entered Chang Shui's body. But after a while, Chang Shui didn't react at all. What's going on? Qin Feiyang was a little stunned. Couldn't Chang Shui revive? But why couldn't it revive in his hands? Was his battle qi not enough? Thinking of this, he increased the output of his battle qi. But it still didn't work. He was very unwilling to give up and switched to flaming battle qi, but Chang Shui still didn't move at all. I don't believe it. Qin Feiyang's stubbornness showed. He mobilized the purple gold dragon qi, but it still didn't work. In the end, he mobilized all 3 types of battle qi and sent them to Chang Shui. However, Chang Shui was like a stubborn stone. It didn't even move, let alone revive. How can it be revived? He couldn't help but frown. Then he closed his eyes and sensed carefully. Gradually, he found that Chang Shui was indeed absorbing his battle qi, but Chang Shui was like a bottomless pit that couldn't be filled. Sensing this, Qin Feiyang had a bold guess in his heart. It should be that his current cultivation wasn't enough. In other words, his cultivation and battle qi hadn't reached the conditions to revive Chang Shui. Regardless of whether this guess was true or not, Qin Feiyang didn't dwell on this problem anymore. He put away Chang Shui and walked towards the flame. When he came to the flame, the vitality was even stronger. Strange. Qin Feiyang was puzzled. Was this a kind of alchemy fire? But if it was alchemy fire, it should emit high temperature. But now, the flame had no temperature. Unless it have an owner. But it was also impossible, because only alchemists who had condensed mental strength could sign a blood contract with alchemy fire. Of the Monkey King was obviously not an alchemy master. Which meant that it was definitely an alchemy. More importantly, when he was in the Imperial Palace, he had read a lot of books and knew a lot of things. However, this was the first time he had heard of such a strange flame. He lowered his head and looked at himself in bewilderment. His eyes were full of shock. Previously, the pressure from the sacred monkey had almost killed him. But in such a short period of time, his injuries had already healed. Its ability to heal injuries was actually several times stronger than the healing pill. He couldn't help but get excited. Maybe this flame could really repair Wolf King's broken sea of consciousness. Thinking of this, he didn't hesitate. With a thought, the unconscious Wolf King appeared out of thin air. Then, Qin Feiyang held Wolf King and approached the flame. That majestic vitality immediately surged into Wolf King's body. Qin Feiyang sank his mind into Wolf King's sea of consciousness, looking quite nervous. There were a total of 3 cracks on Wolf King's sea of consciousness. Although they weren't very obvious, they were enough to be fatal. And now, Ren Duxing couldn't be found, so this flame was his only hope. If even the flame couldn't repair it, then Wolf King was really hopeless. Time passed breath by breath. About 100 breaths passed. Qin Feiyang suddenly found that the cracks on Wolf King's sea of consciousness began to heal little by little. It was effective. This discovery made Qin Feiyang wild with joy. At the same time, he felt even more incredulous. Even the sea of consciousness could be repaired. What kind of divine object was this cluster of flames? The sea of consciousness was the same as the sea of qi. Before it was opened, it was a completely sealed dark area. A person's soul was in the sea of consciousness. But the difference was that the sea of qi could be opened when breaking through the War King. However, according to legends, the sea of consciousness could only be opened when one broke through to the War God realm. Because of this, before breaking through to the War God realm, one couldn't see their soul form. And the soul was very fragile. The existence of the sea of consciousness was to protect the soul. If the sea of consciousness was broken, then the soul would lose its protective shell, and the person would fall into an endless sleep. For example, if Wolf King didn't repair his sea of consciousness, he would never wake up. In the end, his vitality would dry up and he would die in his sleep. At the same time, the pangolin in the castle was also like an ant on a hot pan, restless and uneasy. Although Wolf King often bullied it, and although it always wanted to step on Wolf King, it still had some feelings for him after being together for so long. Now that it was related to Wolf King's life and death, it couldn't help but worry. About half an hour later, one of the 3 cracks in Wolf King's sea of consciousness had been repaired. There were only 2 left. Soon, Qin Feiyang was extremely excited. Even his eyes were a little wet. Because Wolf King was the first person he met. And he had accompanied him all the way until now. After experiencing countless life and death situations, he was already Qin Feiyang's family. It was really rare to meet such a companion in one's life, so he cherished him very much. In the sky above the mountain peak, the sacred monkey's eyes were hazy. Just where did this human run off to? Qin Feiyang is in the stone room right now. I'm afraid he will steal the flame of life. Go and stop him. Suddenly, that mysterious voice sounded in the sacred monkey's mind again. What? The sacred monkey's expression changed. He was in the stone room. How did he get in? The sacred monkey suddenly raised its head and looked around, roaring, "Who the hell are you?" But that mysterious voice disappeared again. Bastard! The sacred monkey was mad. It turned around and rushed into the cave. When it arrived in front of the wall, without saying a word, it directly cut its finger. A drop of blood flowed out and fell on the wall. Boom! At that moment, accompanied by a low rumbling sound, a crack appeared on the wall that had been integrated into the wall. Qin Feiyang, who was standing beside the flame, abruptly turned his head to look behind him. When he saw that the wall was cracking, he immediately turned pale with fright. Damn human, you are really inside. The sacred monkey's roar sounded. Damn it! Qin Feiyang's pupils contracted. It was this damn monkey again. No. Why would the sacred monkey say that he was really inside? All of a sudden, He couldn't help but feel a chill down his spine. He hurriedly retracted his gaze and scanned the stone room. For the sacred monkey to say such words, it was enough to show that the sacred monkey had received the news in advance. But no one knew that he had entered the stone room. Then there was only one possibility. There should be someone hiding in the stone room, monitoring his whereabouts. But the stone room was only so big. If there was really someone, it wouldn't be able to hide from his perception. Moreover, he searched the entire stone room and didn't find anyone. Could it be? His gaze trembled. He thought of another possibility. Could the other party have a space treasure like the ancient castle? If that was the case, then it wasn't good. Rumble. The sound of the secret door opening woke Qin Fei Yang up. He turned his head and his expression changed. Because the secret door had opened half a foot wide. The sacred monkey stood outside the door, staring at Qin Fei Yang. Today, don't think about escaping. Boom. A terrifying pressure rushed into the stone room from the crack of the door. Qin Fei Yang didn't hesitate at all. He stretched out his hand and grabbed the flame in his palm. Seeing this, the sacred monkey suddenly bared its teeth and exploded with killing intent. It threw a punch at the secret door. But this full-force punch didn't break the secret door. How is it possible? Qin Fei Yang turned his head and saw this scene. His eyes were full of shock. Could this secret door be made of some kind of divine iron? But there was no time to think because the pressure had come. Thank you. He grinned at the holy monkey and instantly disappeared without a trace. Damn bastard. Come out and fight if you have the guts. Don't hide. When the door was enough for one person to pass through, the sacred monkey immediately rushed into the stone room and roared. Inside the ancient castle, Qin Fei Yang ignored the sacred monkey's roar. He let go of his hand, and the flame immediately rose into the air. The amazing vitality suddenly filled the entire ancient castle. The unconscious Fatso, Lu Hong, Lin Yi, and Luo Qinshue's injuries also began to heal faster. What a huge amount of vitality! The pangolin's eyes trembled as it looked at the flame in disbelief. Qin Fei Yang's eyes were locked on the nether devil flame. If the nether devil flame recovered automatically and swallowed this cluster of flame, it meant that this flame was indeed alchemy fire. But after dozens of breaths, the nether devil flame didn't move at all. It doesn't seem to be alchemy fire. Qin Fei Yang whispered. He looked down at the flame and frowned. The pangolin asked, Qin Fei Yang, what the hell is this? Qin Fei Yang said, if I knew, I wouldn't have such a headache. But no matter what it is, as long as it can save the white-eyed wolf, it's fine. In my opinion, this is definitely a treasure. The pangolin's eyes lit up, and his saliva flowed out. It looked like he couldn't wait to swallow the flame into his stomach. Qin Fei Yang frowned and said, I'm telling you, don't even think about this flame. This flame could not only repair the heart but also the sea of consciousness. It was absolutely priceless. Don't worry, I won't. The pangolin shook his head again and again, but no one knew what he was thinking. Time flew by. Another half an hour passed. Fatso, Lu Hong, Lin Yi, and Luo Qinshuo woke up one after another. When they saw the flame, the four of them were surprised. There was only one crack left in Wolf King's sea of consciousness that hadn't been repaired yet. Outside the stone room, the sacred monkey had been squatting and didn't leave half a step. This time, it was determined to fight Qin Fei Yang to the end. After a long wait, the third crack in Wolf King's sea of consciousness finally healed. Boom! Following that, his aura suddenly erupted and continued to climb. What's the situation? Qin Fei Yang and the others retreated to the side and looked at each other. After a few breaths, Wolf King's aura soared to a 6-star combat emperor. Suddenly, everyone was stunned. Wasn't he in a deep sleep? Why did he start to break through before waking up? Fatso said sourly, I can only say that Brother Wolf is too awesome. He's going to defy the heavens. The pangolin was also envious. Chapter 493. Not long after. Wolf King's eyes that had been closed for half a year finally opened. It glanced at Qin Feiyang and the others in confusion. Suddenly, as if it had thought of something, it jumped up and said angrily, Did you catch that mysterious war sect? Mysterious war sect. Qin Feiyang and the others were stunned. Tell me. Don't tell me you guys didn't catch him. You guys are really trash. It seems that without Brother Wolf, you guys can't do anything. Brother Wolf has to do it himself. Wolf King looked at Qin Feiyang and the others with disdain. Ugh. The few of them were stunned. After being unconscious for so long, this bastard still hadn't changed at all. However, seeing that Wolf King had woken up, everyone present was overjoyed. Fatso pursed his lips and said, Who said that without you, we can't do anything? Don't be so narcissistic, okay? What do you mean? Wolf King was stunned. The mysterious war sect has been caught a long time ago. And it's been half a year since you were unconscious. Qin Feiyang laughed. What? Half a year? Wolf King's eyes widened in disbelief. Yes, half a year. Lu Hong nodded. Damn, didn't I just have a dream? How did it take so long? Wolf King still found it hard to accept. What dream? Could it be that you dreamed of finding a female wolf and giving birth to a litter of wolf cubs? Fatso laughed wretchedly. Scram. Wolf King glared at him, then looked at Qin Feiyang and said, Has it really been half a year? Yes. Qin Feiyang nodded. Wolf King said, Then who is this mysterious war sect? Qin Feiyang said, Zhao He, one of the 10 commanders under the Mansion Master, is currently locked up in prison. Prison? Wolf King stared blankly and asked in confusion, Why didn't you just kill him? Qin Feiyang said, The manor head wants to use him to lure out that mysterious person. Bastard, you almost killed Lord Wolf. Let's go to the prison and let him have a taste of my holy water. Wolf King said angrily, his whole body emitting a fierce aura. Fatso chuckled. I'm afraid he won't be able to taste your holy water now. Why? Wolf King was suspicious. Fatso said, Because we are not in the spiritual state right now. Where is it? Wolf King was puzzled. The Great Canyon beneath the ruins. Fatso smiled. Wolf King's eyes trembled as he asked in bewilderment, What are you doing here? Of course it's to save you. Qin Feiyang rolled his eyes at it and told it everything that had happened during this period of time in detail. His speech lasted for an hour. After listening, Wolf King glanced at Qin Feiyang and the others with a dull expression, his eyes filled with tears. He didn't expect so many things to happen in the past 6 months. And all of this was just to help him repair his sea of consciousness. Fatso said with a sneaky smile, Are you touched? But if you want to thank us, you have to show some sincerity. Wolf King lowered his head and quietly wiped the tears from the corner of his eyes. But Qin Feiyang and the others were not blind, so they naturally saw it, but they pretended not to see it. Then, Wolf King raised his head and said angrily, Who said I want to thank you? I was injured because I had to delay Zhao He. Without my efforts, would you have been able to catch him? So, saving me is what you should do. And you have to thank me. That, Wolf King said righteously. His eyes turned and looked at the cluster of flames. He chuckled and said, This flame, I will accept it. As soon as he finished, it suddenly jumped up, opened its mouth, and bit towards the flame. Bastard! Fatso and the pangolin immediately pounced forward and directly pushed Wolf King to the ground. The pangolin said angrily, Ruffian wolf, you can't take this thing for yourself. Fatso said, That's right, this is a life-saving treasure. If you dare to take it for yourself, don't blame us for fighting with our lives. Heh. Brother was just joking, why did you take it so seriously? Wolf King laughed embarrassedly. Only a ghost would believe that. Fatso rolled his eyes. Qin Feiyang said, alright, stop messing around. Fatso and the pangolin immediately released Wolf King and looked at Qin Feiyang. Although we have experienced a lot of danger during this period of time, fortunately, everyone is fine. White-eyed Wolf's Sea of Consciousness has also been repaired. It can be considered a happy ending. Aunt Shui, don't worry about it. Continue to cultivate. Fatso, White-eyed Wolf and I will think of a way. Qin Feiyang said. N. Luo Qianxue and the others nodded, then sat in a corner and closed their eyes to cultivate. Only Fatso and Wolf King did not leave. When it came to serious matters, Fatso also stopped joking and said worriedly, Boss, the holy monkey is guarding outside. I'm afraid it's harder than ascending to the heavens to leave the canyon. Qin Feiyang said, there's nothing we can do, we can't really be trapped here for the rest of our lives. Wolf King said, go out and talk to it. Qin Feiyang shook his head and said, I've already talked to it, it's impossible. Wolf King said angrily, damn it, when I step into the War Saint realm, the first thing I will do is kill it. That will have to wait until you step into the War Saint realm. Qin Feiyang rolled his eyes. This was simply an unrealistic idea. The two men and one wolf racked their brains but could not think of a way to escape. Boom! But suddenly, there was a violent crashing sound outside. Following closely, the entire mountain trembled violently, as if it was about to collapse. What's going on? Qin Feiyang was shocked. The holy monkey in the stone room was also surprised. Damn monkey, your grandpa Qin is outside, come out and kill me if you have the ability. At this moment, a clamorous shout exploded above the mountain peak like a clap of thunder, spreading in all directions. How did he get out? The holy monkey was stunned for a moment, then became furious. He got up, opened the secret door, and ran out of the cave. Swish! After the holy monkey left, Qin Feiyang and Wolf King also appeared out of thin air. Little Qin Z, what's going on? Why does that voice that claims to be Grandpa Qin sound the same as yours? Wolf King said in surprise. I don't know either. But this is a good opportunity to escape. Qin Feiyang shook his head. His eyes flashed slightly, and he turned into a stream of light and quickly escaped from the stone room. The secret door was closing automatically. Seeing that Wolf King was still pondering in the stone room, Qin Feiyang said anxiously, don't think about it, let's go. Whoosh! Wolf King ran out of the stone room like a wisp of smoke. The moment it ran out, the secret door closed with a bang. Qin Feiyang could not help but feel scared. If the white-eyed wolf delayed any longer, it would definitely be trapped inside. At that time, it would be like a turtle in a jar, unable to escape even if it had wings. Let's go. Qin Feiyang waved his hand and turned to rush out of the cave. The Wolf King jumped onto his shoulder and cautiously scanned the area ahead. Where are you going? The holy monkey's roar was deafening. Wolf King said in surprise, there really is another Qin Feiyang. Who is impersonating him? Let's go out and see. Qin Feiyang whispered and restrained his aura to the extreme. Wolf King also restrained his aura. At this time, he could not be blocked again. Otherwise, it would undoubtedly be a dream to escape. In short, this was his only chance. Whoosh! After a few breaths, Qin Feiyang finally rushed out of the cave. He immediately looked up and saw a white figure in the sky, fleeing toward the black storm. The holy monkey was chasing from behind, and its fierce aura shook all directions. Damn monkey, follow me if you have the guts. The white figure looked back at the holy monkey, and then slipped into the storm and disappeared without a trace. The holy monkey was mad. Its battle aura swept across the sky and bombarded the storm. It's really me. Qin Feiyang was stunned. That person's appearance, figure, and clothes were exactly the same as him. It was as if they were cast from the same mold. Let's run now. Wolf King yelled in a low voice. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed, and he decisively entered the ancient castle. Why aren't you running? Wolf King looked at Qin Feiyang in confusion. Qin Feiyang said, the holy monkey is up there. No matter which direction we run in, it will detect us. Wolf King said, then, won't we be trapped if we stay here? As long as we leave the cave, we will find a chance to leave. There's no hurry. You should go and cultivate. I will take care of the rest. Qin Feiyang said. Before he met the holy monkey, he felt that with his current combat strength, although he was not the top master in the spiritual state, he could protect himself. But now that he saw the power of the holy monkey, he realized that the spiritual state was not as simple as it seemed. In addition to the holy monkey, there were many more powerful existences lurking. So, increasing his strength was the top priority. Wolf King did not refute. He took out a pile of battle chi pills and began to take a nap. Outside, the holy monkey stopped attacking randomly and stood in the void, coldly looking at the black storm. Damn monkey, why don't you dare to come in? Then why are you still so arrogant? Qin Feiyang's voice came from the storm again. It was erratic and difficult to pinpoint his exact location. The holy monkey said angrily, come out if you dare. Don't worry. When I become a battle saint, I will come and settle this with you. As for now, I won't accompany you. If you have the ability to leave here, you can find me in the state capital. Don't send me off. The voice sounded again, but then it died down. Asshole, I will kill you sooner or later. The saint monkey roared. Its voice was like a great bell that shook the surroundings. It was filled with a shocking viciousness. After 100 breaths, the holy monkey saw that the voice did not come again. With a murderous glint in its eyes, it turned around and dashed toward the cave. That person is not Qin Feiyang. The real Qin Feiyang is beside the cave. Guard there and don't give him a chance to escape. But at this moment, the mysterious voice that had appeared twice sounded in the holy monkey's mind again. Ha! The holy monkey froze for a moment, staring at the entrance of the cave with overwhelming hostility. One pretended to be Qin Feiyang and wanted to save Qin Feiyang. The other reminded it again and again, obviously trying to kill Qin Feiyang. How many people were there in this canyon? But it still chose to believe in the mysterious voice. Swish! It flashed and landed beside the entrance of the cave, scanning the void outside the cave with sharp eyes. Meanwhile, Qin Feiyang stood in the ancient castle, deep in thought. Could the person who pretended to be him be Lu Xingchen? Because other than him, there was only Lu Xingchen in this canyon. There seemed to be no other explanation. Chapter 494. However, regardless of whether Lu Xingchen had turned over a new leaf or not, he did not dare to easily believe it. Because Lu Xingchen's resurrection was too strange. He would not be honest with Lu Xingchen until he had investigated the matter thoroughly. After listening carefully for a moment and not hearing any movement, Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed and he left the castle. Boom! However, the instant he appeared, an astonishing oppressive might enveloped him and directly imprisoned him. Ha! Qin Feiyang was shocked. The pressure came from behind, but he did not need to look to know that it was the pressure of Saint Monkey. Sure enough. The next moment, Saint Monkey came in front of him and sneered, "Why don't you continue to run?" Qin Feiyang's eyes were gloomy. Saint Monkey was obviously waiting for him here. In other words, Saint Monkey had already seen through that Qin Feiyang was a fake. However, the problem was that from Saint Monkey's previous performance, it did not see through it. But why did it suddenly know? Moreover, it knew his location. If once was a coincidence, then 2 or 3 times were definitely not a coincidence. In other words, there was someone else hiding in the canyon. And this person knew his whereabouts like the back of his hand. It was very likely that he was hiding nearby. Saint Monkey shouted, "Hand over the fire of life, and this saint will leave your corpse intact." Fire of life? Qin Feiyang's heart skipped a beat. Why did this name sound so familiar? Woo woo, he let out a whimper. Because of the pressure, he could not open his mouth to speak. Saint Monkey's pressure loosened. Qin Feiyang suddenly let out a long breath and frowned. "How do you always know my location? Don't you know who this saint is? Do you think it's possible to escape from this saint's eyes?" Saint Monkey's eyes were full of ridicule. "You. If I'm not wrong, someone must be secretly giving you a hint. Who is this person? As long as you tell me, I will immediately return the fire of life to you." Qin Feiyang said disdainfully. Saint Monkey sneered, "Do you still have the qualifications to talk about conditions now?" "Yes. As long as I die, the spatial treasure will shatter, and the flame of life will also be extinguished." Qin Feiyang said. Sage's eyes darkened. "Don't doubt me, and don't do anything you regret," Qin Feiyang said. Actually, he didn't know if the ancient castle would shatter because of his death. But now, the fire of life was his only bargaining chip. He could only take a gamble. The sage monkey stared at Qin Feiyang with flickering eyes. Suddenly, the ferocious light in its eyes intensified as it laughed sinisterly. "Even if my flame of life is extinguished, I will still kill you today." Boom! After saying this, its ferocious aura erupted. It raised its head and slammed its thick arm towards Qin Feiyang. The aura of death descended once again. Qin Feiyang's eyes trembled. He had never felt so helpless before. "It's useless even if you kill him, because I am the real Qin Feiyang." At this moment, a cold voice rang out. Sage Monkey was startled. It turned its head and saw another Qin Feiyang standing on a stone in front of it. "What's going on?" Sage Monkey glanced at the fake Qin Feiyang and then looked at the real Qin Feiyang, its eyes full of surprise. Suddenly, its eyes lit up as it looked at the fake Qin Feiyang and said, "Since you're a Qin Feiyang, you should have a spatial treasure. Now disappear for me to see. Isn't that simple?" Qin Feiyang smiled contemptuously. His figure flashed and disappeared without a trace. The next moment, he appeared out of thin air. This, who is the real one and who is the fake one?" Sage Monkey's expression was dull. It was really at a loss. "Chang Shui, I have one too." The fake Qin Feiyang stretched out his hand again. With a flash of light, a white dagger appeared out of thin air. This time, even Qin Feiyang himself was in disbelief. That Chang Shui, whether in length or shape, was no different from the real Chang Shui. Could it be that there were 2 Chang Shui? Qin Feiyang couldn't help but start to doubt. "Now you know who is the real one and who is the fake one." The fake Qin Feiyang pursed his lips with a trace of sarcasm. He jumped down from the big stone and walked towards Sage Monkey and Qin Feiyang step by step. "Stop right there!" Sage Monkey shouted. The fake Qin Feiyang joked, "What, are you afraid of a little war emperor like me?" Sage Monkey was not afraid, but because all of this was too strange. Suddenly, it was full of hostility and shouted, "Since you all say that you are Qin Feiyang, then I will kill all of you today." Boom! That terrifying oppressive might surged toward the fake Qin Feiyang. "You think you can do that?" The fake Qin Feiyang was disdainful and disappeared without a trace in an instant. The holy monkey looked around and roared, don't try to be mysterious. Come out now. As you wish. The fake Qin Feiyang's voice rang out in the void. Then. He appeared behind Qin Feiyang out of thin air and grabbed Qin Feiyang's arm. Before Sage Monkey could react, he disappeared without a trace. Damn bastard, who are you? Sage Monkey roared. The destructive aura swept out in all directions. With a loud bang, the whole mountain was turned into ashes in an instant. Sage Monkey, you really disappoint me. That mysterious voice also rang out in Sage Monkey's mind. This undoubtedly made Sage Monkey even angrier. Who are you? What right do you have to talk about me? Come out if you have the ability. Let me see who you are. Sage Monkey roared. It's not time yet. The mysterious voice only said this sentence and then disappeared, never to be heard again. At the same time, somewhere in the black storm, two Qin Feiyangs stood facing each other. What was even more strange was that the black storm was howling around them, but they didn't have any light shields protecting them. However, those storms couldn't cause them any harm. Qin Feiyang asked, "Who are you?" The fake Qin Feiyang on the opposite side was silent for a moment before sighing. You shouldn't have come to the ruins, let alone enter this canyon. Qin Feiyang was stunned and asked in surprise, "You know me?" The fake Qin Feiyang said, "Yes, when you and Shuang left last time, I was watching you all the time." What? Qin Feiyang's pupils shrank. Could it be that you were secretly controlling the storm to prevent us from leaving? I wasn't stopping you and Shuang. I was testing you. To be exact, I was testing that rib. The fake Qin Feiyang said. Testing the rib? Qin Feiyang was puzzled. But suddenly, his body and mind trembled. He looked up and down, left and right, carefully sizing up the fake Qin Feiyang. The Shuang this person was talking about was undoubtedly Ren Wushuang. And to call Ren Wushuang so intimately, it could only be Ren Wushuang's relatives. Could it be? His eyes were filled with deep disbelief. Are you my sister's father, Ren Duxing? You are very smart. The fake Qin Feiyang smiled, took a facial restoration pill, and quickly recovered his true appearance. This was a middle-aged man, about 1.8 meters tall. He was neither fat nor thin, and his weather-beaten face looked incomparably resolute. There were also spots of white hair on his temples, with an air of vicissitudes. But Qin Feiyang automatically ignored all these. His eyes stared straight at the man's forehead. There was an extremely eye-catching crescent-shaped mark between the eyebrows, like a peerless jade. It was really Ren Duxing. It turned out that the one who helped him was not Lu Xingchen, but Ren Duxing. Are you surprised? Ren Duxing said with a smile, appearing very amiable. Of course I am. Qin Feiyang blurted out without hesitation. Ren Duxing smiled and said, hurry up and go back. This is not a place where you can stay. Go back. Qin Feiyang was stunned and said decisively, I will not leave until the doubts in my heart are solved. Ren Duxing looked at him deeply and shook his head. The more you know about these things, the worse it will be for you. Qin Feiyang was surprised and smiled. Uncle Ren, don't scare me. Although my strength is not much, I still have courage. Ren Duxing shook his head and laughed. He nodded and said, I can see that, or you wouldn't dare to enter the canyon. After a pause, Ren Duxing said again, well, if you have any questions, I will tell you everything I can. Qin Feiyang said, what is the fire of life? Ren Duxing smiled and said, the fire of life is a very magical flame, and there are a total of 9 fires of life in the world. So many? Qin Feiyang was surprised. That's right. Ren Duxing nodded and said, according to legend, as long as 9 fires of life are gathered, the fires of life will fuse and transform into a divine flower. This flower is called the flower of life. Flower of life? Qin Feiyang frowned. Why did it sound familiar? Ren Duxing said, the flower of life has endless vitality. It is said that as long as one obtains the flower of life, he will be immortal and live as long as the heavens. Hearing this, Qin Feiyang's mind flashed and finally remembered why it sounded familiar. He had heard the emperor mention it in the imperial palace, but he was only 5 or 6 years old at that time, so he didn't remember it too deeply. And the legend that Ren Duxing said did indeed exist. But since ancient times, no one had been able to gather 9 fires of life. Because the fires of life were scattered in every corner of the continent, they could exist anywhere. Qin Feiyang said again, why did you stay here? And these storms, why can't they hurt you? Also, where did you get that Chang Shui? Ren Duxing opened his big hand, and the Chang Shui appeared. But as he clenched his big hand, the Chang Shui shattered. Qin Feiyang's eyes widened. Ren Duxing said with a smile, this is just a replica. It's not the real one. A replica? Qin Feiyang was slightly taken aback, and said with a bitter smile, I thought there were 2 Chang Shui in the world. It turns out that it's just a replica. Your Chang Shui is not ordinary. Cherish it. Ren Duxing said meaningfully. Then, he continued, the reason why I've been staying here is because I can't leave. And these storms can't hurt me because I control the source of power of the ruins. Power source? Qin Feiyang was stunned. What did that mean? Ren Duxing said, in short, these storms and the gravity above all come from the power source, and the power source is equivalent to a control mechanism. Qin Feiyang said in surprise, so, aren't you the master of this control mechanism now? Does that mean you can control these storms and gravity at will? Exactly. Ren Duxing nodded and smiled. Chapter 495. Because in this way, Ren Duxing was equivalent to the ruler of the ruined land. Ren Duxing smiled, any other questions? Qin Feiyang said, of course, why can't you leave this place? It's also because of the source of power. Ren Duxing sighed deeply and said helplessly, if I control the source of power, I can't leave the ruined land. The only way is to destroy the source of power. Qin Feiyang said, then can't we just destroy it? We can't destroy it. I believe you've noticed that this canyon is full of creatures from 10,000 years ago. Ren Duxing said. Qin Feiyang nodded. Ren Duxing said, but you don't know, other than the holy monkey, there are 3 other holy beasts here. What? 3 more holy beasts? Qin Feiyang turned pale with fright. That's right. Forest, desert, glacier, sea of fire, these 4 areas have a holy beast sealed themselves, and the Monkey King and other beasts are guarding them. Ren Duxing said. I understand. If the source of power is destroyed, the black storm and gravity will disappear. Once these holy beasts wake up, the spiritual state will be in a disaster. Qin Feiyang said. Yes. Ren Duxing nodded, as long as the black storm and gravity are still there, even if they wake up, they can't leave this canyon. Qin Feiyang looked at Ren Wuxuang with a complicated expression and sighed, so Uncle Ren has been guarding the spiritual state. It's been hard on you. Ren Duxing smiled, it doesn't matter if it's hard on me, as long as the creatures of the spiritual state are safe. But have you thought about how sister feels? Since you know she came to the ruined land to look for you, you should come out and meet her and tell her the truth. More than 20 years. She has been looking for you in the ruined land for more than 20 years. Do you know how hard she has been? Do you know how much she longed to see you? As a father, how could you bear to do this? Qin Feiyang said angrily. Originally, he would not have been so angry, but when he thought of Ren Wuxuang's experience, he thought of the emperor. An indescribable rage could not help but erupt in his heart. Ren Duxing fell silent, his eyes filled with self-blame. Actually, I can understand. Uncle Ren, you don't want Big Sis to worry. Because once Big Sis learns the truth, she will definitely stay with you. She won't leave even if you beat her to death. But you should at least tell her that you're safe so that she won't look for you everywhere and worry about you. Qin Feiyang sighed. Ren Duxing sighed and said, when you go back, apologize to Shuang on my behalf. Tell her that I didn't fulfill my responsibilities as a father and have let her down. Qin Feiyang was silent for a while, then nodded and said, I will tell Big Sis that you are still alive, but you should apologize to her yourself. Ren Duxing smiled bitterly and said, you are also a person with a story. What story can I have? Qin Feiyang shook his head and laughed, quickly changing the topic. These 4 saint beasts are all existences from 10,000 years ago. Ren Duxing nodded. Qin Feiyang said, you came to the ruins to find them? Ren Duxing said, yes and no. What do you mean? Qin Feiyang was stunned. Ren Duxing said, I came to the ruins to find an inheritance, and it is the inheritance of the 4 saint beasts' master. They have a master. Qin Feiyang was surprised. Ren Duxing said, their master is very powerful, and I have successfully obtained their master's inheritance. This is also the reason why they have not killed me. Qin Feiyang was surprised and asked, who is their master? This, Ren Duxing hesitated for a moment and said, anyway, you have interacted with their master, so there is no harm in telling you. How can I have interacted with him? Qin Feiyang was puzzled, feeling a little strange. You have interacted with each other quite a bit, and sooner or later, this person will come looking for you. Because the ribs on your body are his. Ren Duxing said. What? Qin Feiyang almost jumped up. The owner of the ribs is actually the master of these 4 saint beasts. Isn't this too bizarre? Ren Duxing said, at first, when I saw you take out the ribs, I was a little surprised, but after I tested it, it was really him. Tell me, where did you get the ribs? Qin Feiyang said, in a canyon in the Death Desert, but later on, I went there again, and the canyon had disappeared into thin air. I couldn't find it. Disappeared? Ren Duxing frowned, but his face suddenly changed. What's wrong? Qin Feiyang was also surprised. Ren Duxing said in a deep voice, the canyon can't disappear by itself. The only explanation is that this person has awakened. Impossible. Because when I found him, only a skeleton was left. Qin Feiyang said decisively. Sigh. Feiyang, you don't know how powerful he is. Let me tell you, as long as his consciousness is not destroyed, he will not die, because he is a war god. Ren Duxing said. War god. Qin Feiyang was like a bolt from the blue, and his body and mind trembled. The 2 words war god, in the current era, was simply an ethereal legend. Since we're here, I'll tell you another shocking secret. As far as I know, this person is called Mu Tianyang, known as the Heavenly Sun War God. Ren Duxing said. Mu Tianyang. Heavenly Sun War God. Hearing this name, Qin Feiyang's heart was once again set off stormy waves. Because he was no stranger to the name Mu Tianyang. The title Heavenly Sun War God was like thunder to his ears. Because Mu Tianyang was the founding ancestor of the Heavenly Sun Empire. The Heavenly Sun Empire was the predecessor of the Great Qin Empire. In short, 10,000 years ago, the Heavenly Sun Empire was the one that ruled this land. But according to historical records, Mu Tianyang was extremely cruel, and his methods were also very bloody, causing the heavens to be angry and resentful. Later, the first generation of emperors was born and quickly rose to power, overthrowing the Heavenly Sun Empire and establishing the Great Qin Empire. As for how he overthrew it, the historical records only briefly mentioned it, but one could imagine that the process must have been very difficult. However, the historical records clearly recorded that Mu Tianyang finally died in battle. Therefore, Qin Feiyang found it very difficult to accept the fact that Mu Tianyang was still alive. Ren Duxing didn't know what Qin Feiyang was thinking, and he didn't know that Qin Feiyang knew about this, so he began to explain to Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang didn't stop Ren Duxing and let him continue. In the end, the situation that Ren Duxing said was roughly the same as what he understood. After a while, Ren Duxing finally finished. But Qin Feiyang still didn't believe it. Ren Duxing paused and said, although Mu Tianyang died in battle, his divine bones were not destroyed, and he was lucky enough to retain a trace of divine consciousness. Qin Feiyang frowned and said, that's impossible, right? How powerful was the first generation of emperors? If Mu Tianyang really still had a trace of divine consciousness, it was impossible for him not to discover it. Could it be that the first generation of emperors was kind and deliberately gave him a way out? Thinking of this, Qin Feiyang really felt that there was such a possibility. The Merfolk clan was also the first generation of emperors' mortal enemies. In the end, the first generation of emperors not only let them go, but also arranged a habitat for them. It was enough to see that the first generation of emperors was a benevolent ruler. If he could let the Merfolk clan go, then letting Mu Tianyang go didn't seem to be a strange thing. But these were just his guesses. Before it was confirmed, he didn't dare to make a conclusion directly. Qin Feiyang said, if Mu Tianyang is really still alive, will he come for revenge? Definitely. Ren Duxing nodded without hesitation, thought for a while and said, but in a short time, he definitely won't do it. Why? Qin Feiyang asked. Ren Duxing said, because he needs a certain amount of time to recover his cultivation. Qin Feiyang said, Uncle Ren, let me ask you a question that I shouldn't ask. How do you know these things? Ren Duxing said, in the inheritance he left, there is a part of his memory. Inheritance memory? Qin Feiyang frowned. He still couldn't understand these things, but he could think of one thing. Ren Duxing got Mu Tianyang's inheritance, which meant that he was Mu Tianyang's disciple. Qin Feiyang looked at Ren Duxing, his eyes flickering. Ren Duxing asked curiously, what are you thinking? I'm thinking, will you become Mu Tianyang's lackey in the future? Qin Feiyang said very directly. This matter was too important, and he didn't dare to be careless. Because once Ren Duxing and Mu Tianyang joined forces, the situation would be even worse. So he had to know Ren Duxing's position first. Ah. Ren Duxing looked at Qin Feiyang in astonishment, shook his head and smiled, although I'm a little unhappy with your question, I can understand. Don't worry, I can't do these things. My self-esteem, my pride, won't allow me to do so. Qin Feiyang said, then I hope Uncle Ren can do what he says. Ren Duxing said solemnly, if I can't do it, you don't have to worry about anything in the future. Just kill me directly. Anyway, with your talent, you will surpass me sooner or later. I will. Qin Feiyang nodded. Ren Duxing said, are there any other questions? Yes. This question has been bothering me. I keep having the feeling that someone is secretly monitoring my whereabouts and informing the Monkey King and Sage Monkey. Qin Feiyang said. Ren Duxing laughed, it's me who has been secretly watching you. No. Suddenly. Ren Duxing's face changed, and said, although I'm watching you, I didn't inform them. Are you sure that's the case? Qin Feiyang said, I'm sure, because no matter where I hide, the Saint Monkey will be able to rush over immediately. Strange. Why is it like this? Ren Duxing frowned. Qin Feiyang asked, Uncle Ren, is there anyone else in this canyon? Ren Duxing said, other than you, there's only me. That's not right. There's still one more person, Lu Xingqian. Qin Feiyang said. Are you suspecting Xingqian? Ren Duxing looked at him in surprise. He's worth suspecting. Because he was already dead, but he suddenly came back to life. This time, when I came to the ruins to look for you, the mansion master asked Lu Xingqian to come along as well. He wanted me to investigate him. Chapter 496. There's such a thing. Ren Duxing was bewildered. He said, "Quickly tell me the details." Qin Feiyang nodded and told him about Lu Xingchen's death and Lu Xingchen's resurrection in detail. After listening, Ren Duxing pondered for a moment and nodded. "This matter is indeed a little strange, but we can't make wild guesses. We have to investigate thoroughly first." Qin Feiyang said, "The current Lu Xingchen is more shrewd than the Lu Xingchen of the past. It will be difficult to investigate thoroughly. No matter how cunning and suspicious, there will be times when they give themselves away. This matter is not urgent. However, when you return to the state capital, you have to pay attention to Mu Tianyang's whereabouts. I reckon that he should be recruiting and conserving his strength now. You can start investigating from this aspect. But don't tell the old man Shuang or about this, let alone anyone else." Ren Duxing's tone had a hint of pleading. "I can understand not telling anyone else, but why can't you tell the old man and sister?" Qin Feiyang frowned. "They are my closest relatives. If they know about this, they definitely won't sit back and do nothing. At that time, we might alert the enemy." Ren Duxing said. Qin Feiyang pondered for a moment and said, "Why don't we report this matter to the imperial capital?" "That won't do. Mu Tianyang is still alive, but it hasn't been confirmed. The people in the imperial capital won't believe us. Taking a step back, even if they believe us and send people to Lingzhou to investigate, it won't be of any use. Instead, it will make Mu Tianyang hide even more. After all, the reborn Mu Tianyang's strength can't compete with the current Great Qin Empire. He can't fight us head-on." Ren Duxing said. Qin Feiyang thought about it carefully. Ren Duxing's words did make sense. However, if Mu Tianyang was still alive, the spiritual state wouldn't be able to resist him. It could even be said that it was a disaster. Ren Duxing smiled and said, "If there are no other questions, I will send you off." "Wait. Last few questions. Why is Mu Tianyang's legacy here? Who built the land of ruins? This forest has the flame of life. Are there other treasures hidden in the desert, the glacier, and the sea of fire?" Qin Feiyang asked several questions in a row. These questions, Ren Duxing pondered for a moment and smiled faintly. "It's a bit complicated to explain. I'll tell you about it when I have the chance." After saying that, without waiting for Qin Feiyang to speak, Ren Duxing waved his hand, and Qin Feiyang felt a supreme force enveloping him. Swish! In the next moment, Qin Feiyang left the canyon and landed beside the ancient iron chain bridge. He left the canyon so easily. Qin Feiyang's eyes lit up. He was quite interested in the so-called source of power. At this moment, a purple-clothed young man walked out from behind a rock. It was none other than Lu Xingchen. "You finally came out," he said with a smile as he walked towards Qin Feiyang. His face also had an expression of being relieved of a heavy burden. Qin Feiyang turned his head and frowned. "What are you doing here?" Lu Xingchen smiled and said, "Waiting for you." "Waiting for me?" Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed and said calmly, "You've been here all this time?" "Yes." Lu Xingchen nodded. Qin Feiyang turned his head and looked down at the canyon, his eyes flickering. If Lu Xingchen had really been here all this time, then the person who tipped off the holy monkey shouldn't be him. But who else could it be other than Lu Xingchen? In the entire canyon, other than the beasts, there were only him, Lu Xingchen, and Ren Duxing. Could it be Ren Duxing? In that case, those words that Ren Duxing had said before were purely a lie. Qin Feiyang felt like his head was about to explode. He didn't know whether to believe Ren Duxing or Lu Xingchen. Because both of them were worthy of suspicion. Lu Xingchen was one of them. As for Ren Duxing, although he looked like he was protecting the spiritual state, who knew what he was thinking? After experiencing too many conspiracies, Qin Feiyang really didn't dare to easily trust anyone. Lu Xingchen walked to the side and asked with a smile, "What are you thinking about?" "Nothing." Qin Feiyang shook his head and said lightly, "Let's go back to the state capital." Lu Xingchen was taken aback and said, "Aren't we going to continue looking for Uncle Ren?" Qin Feiyang said, "We've searched all the places we should, but we didn't find any clues. It seems that Ren Duxing is most likely dead." Lu Xingchen sighed. If Wu Shuang knew this cruel fact, she would definitely be very sad. Although I don't have much interaction with Ren Wushuang, I can see that she's not a weak woman. Qin Feiyang said. After that, he didn't stay any longer. He took out a rib and directly stepped on the iron chain bridge. Sigh. Lu Xingchen sighed deeply, took out a rib, and followed Qin Feiyang to the other side. 3 days later, Qin Feiyang walked out of the iron chain bridge, stood at the bridge, and turned to look at the Grand Canyon. This trip, not only did he help Wolf King repair his spiritual sea, but he also obtained a flame of life. And he also completed the task of the mansion master and found Ren Duxing. Although the process was very difficult and he almost lost his life several times, it was a perfect ending. However, he would never forget what the sage monkey had done to him. Sooner or later, he would make it pay with blood. At the same time, Lu Xingchen's eyes were also filled with an inexplicable light. Qin Feiyang retracted his gaze and turned to Lu Xingchen, asking, "Are you going back to the inner hall directly or to the state capital?" Lu Xingchen pondered for a while and sighed, "The Lu family has been destroyed, there's no point in returning to the state capital. I'll go directly to the inner hall." Qin Feiyang nodded. Swoosh! Lu Xingchen waved his hand, opened a portal, and walked in without looking back. Qin Feiyang looked at the dissipating portal, his eyes flickering. Although Lu Xingchen hid it very well this time, he also exposed a flaw, which was self-sealing. Ordinary people wouldn't know such a secret as self-sealing. But Lu Xingchen knew very well that there must be a secret behind it. "Let's see how long you can hide it." He smiled coldly, opened a portal, and stepped in. The next moment, he arrived in front of the mansion master's courtyard. The old man was sitting lazily by the pond, fishing. There was a pot of hot tea next to him, looking very comfortable. The old man immediately sensed that someone was coming. When he saw that it was Qin Feiyang, he immediately stood up and asked, "Did you find him?" There was some anticipation and nervousness in his expression. "I found him." Qin Feiyang nodded. The old man was wild with joy and said, "I knew that there's nothing you can't do as long as you make a move. Tell me, where is he? Did he come back with you?" "No." Qin Feiyang shook his head, pondered for a while, and said, "It's not convenient for me to tell you where he is now." "Please forgive me, old man, what do you mean? Don't tell me that as his father, I have to get your permission to see him." The old man was a little angry. "You don't have to get my permission. It's because Uncle Ren doesn't want to see you. Don't think about going to the land of ruins to look for him, because he's not there at all." Qin Feiyang said. His face was a little gloomy. He risked his life in the Grand Canyon and finally saw Ren Duxing. But the old man not only didn't thank him, but also got angry at him. It was really a thankless job. "He doesn't want to see me." The old man was stunned and didn't come to his senses for a long time. But when he came to his senses, he noticed Qin Feiyang's expression and immediately realized that he had lost his composure. He smiled apologetically and said, "I'm sorry, I've wronged you." "It's understandable." Qin Feiyang smiled. The old man forced a smile and asked, "Why doesn't he want to see me? Is there any difficulty?" "I don't know about that." Qin Feiyang shook his head. The old man said, "Then can you tell this old man where he is now?" Qin Feiyang said, "No, I promised Uncle Ren that I would keep it a secret for him." Sigh. The old man sighed deeply and looked up at the sky. Since he doesn't want to see me, I don't need to force him. I just need to know that he's still alive. Qin Feiyang was silent. To be honest, he still sympathized with the old man. A moment later, the old man retracted his gaze and looked at Qin Feiyang. Has Ruffian Wolf's knowledge been repaired? Yes. Qin Feiyang nodded. The old man breathed a sigh of relief and said, That's good. Do you plan to tell Shuang about this? Qin Feiyang said, I will only tell her that Uncle Ren is still alive. In my opinion, you'd better not say anything. I know Shuang's temper the best. If she knows that her father is not dead, she will definitely search everywhere. The old man smiled bitterly. This, Qin Feiyang hesitated for a moment, then nodded and said, All right, then I'll hide it from her for the time being. He was most afraid of trouble. If this cheap sister pestered him every day in the future, wouldn't he have a headache? The old man suddenly thought of something and said, Oh right, I don't think it's possible to destroy the ruins for the time being. Why? Qin Feiyang frowned. The old man said, This matter is of great importance. This old man has to ask the current emperor first. Emperor. Qin Feiyang's eyes trembled slightly, and his hands retracted into his sleeves. He couldn't help but clench them tightly, and asked, How long will it take for you to see him? The old man said, 1.5 years. 1.5 years, Qin Feiyang's eyes flickered. If he remembered correctly, in another 1.5 years, he would be 20 years old. Suddenly, Qin Feiyang bowed and said, Junior has a request. The old man smiled and said, Say it, this old man will do his best to promise you. Qin Feiyang said, When you meet the emperor, can you bring me along? That's definitely not possible. The old man shook his head decisively. Qin Feiyang couldn't help but feel disappointed. It seemed that it was impossible to return to the imperial capital before the age of 20. The imperial capital is indeed a place that people yearn for, but this is not something that can be rushed. But don't be disappointed. When this old man comes back from the imperial capital, I believe that you will be able to enter the imperial capital soon. Chapter 497. Yearn. Qin Feiyang sneered in his heart. The imperial capital was indeed a holy land that countless people yearned for. However, for him, if it weren't for his mother still in the imperial capital, if it weren't for the fact that he still had a great grudge to avenge, he would never want to set foot in that place. Because everything there made him extremely disgusted. However, the old man's last sentence made him quite happy. He asked suspiciously, Old man, what do you mean by this? After this old man goes to meet the emperor, the great war of the 9 regions will begin. At that time, with your talent and strength, it shouldn't be difficult for you to suppress all the heroes and enter the imperial capital. The old man laughed. Great war of the 9 regions. Hearing this, Qin Feiyang suddenly came to a realization. The old man smiled and asked, How is it? Are you confident? Of course. Qin Feiyang nodded. It's good to be confident, but you can't be arrogant. This old man heard that the other 8 regions have also given birth to many monstrous martial arts geniuses. Only when you break through to the War Master realm will you have absolute overwhelming strength. Of course, you don't have to be the first. As long as your performance can be ranked in the top 10, you will definitely be able to enter the imperial capital. The old man said. Qin Feiyang asked, What if I don't rank in the top 10? The old man said, This depends on one's luck and good fortune. Qin Feiyang nodded. The old man waved his hand and said, All right then, hurry back to the inner hall and cultivate in seclusion. This old man looks forward to your performance. That, Qin Feiyang hesitated for a moment, then chuckled, Old man, this time I went to find Uncle Ren, it can be said that I went through a lot of hardships. Don't you think you should give me some reward? Hee hee. The old man couldn't help but laugh and teased, Then tell me, what do you want? Qin Feiyang coughed dryly and laughed. It's best if you have a perfect battle art. If you don't have a perfect battle art, I don't mind giving you a 4th grade pill fire. Ah! The old man was stunned. Listening to his tone, if you were to give this kid a 4th grade pill fire, wouldn't it be too unfair for him? The old man's eyes flashed and he chuckled. Why don't I give you a 5th grade alchemy fire? 5th rank. Qin Feiyang's eyes trembled, and he said happily, of course, I couldn't ask for more. In your dreams. The old man glared at him and said speechlessly, do you think the Pill Fire Association is a cabbage that can be found everywhere? Qin Feiyang smiled embarrassedly. The old man rolled his eyes and pondered for a moment, then said, I definitely don't have alchemy fire, and I don't have perfect battle arts either. However, I do have quite a few superior battle arts. Do you want them? Qin Feiyang pursed his lips and said, it's a waste not to take it. You little bastard. The old man shook his head and laughed. He took out 2 jade slips and threw them to Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang immediately sank his consciousness into the jade slip. One of them was called the White Illusion Art, which had the same effect as the Phantom Steps. However, the difference was that the White Illusion Art was a killing battle art. The other one was called the Ghost Steps, which was an auxiliary battle art. Once the Ghost Steps were used, the user would be like a ghost, coming and going without a trace. However, it was a pity that it was only a superior battle art. The old man smiled and asked, are you satisfied now? Ah! Qin Feiyang was stunned. He really didn't know what to say. Not to mention anything else, just by looking at his expression, he knew that he didn't care about the superior battle arts at all. Whoosh! Without wasting any time, Qin Feiyang directly entered the ancient castle. Fatso immediately got up and asked suspiciously, Boss, what is the 9 States War? Qin Feiyang said, the 9 States War is a competition for places. Places? Fatso was slightly stunned and said, the places to enter the imperial capital. Qin Feiyang nodded and explained, every 10 years, the imperial capital will hold a 9 States War. All 9 states will send people to participate, and without exception, these people are all disciples of the inner palace. Lu Hong also opened her eyes and asked, so, the other 8 states also have inner palace? That's right. This is the only way for people from the 9 states and 18 counties to enter the imperial capital. So, I must not lose the 9 States War. Qin Feiyang clenched his hands tightly, his eyes glowing with determination. Fatso asked, where is the battlefield? I'm not too sure about that. Qin Feiyang shook his head. Back then, as the son of the high and mighty emperor, he could get whatever he wanted and didn't care about these problems at all. Fatso said, then you have to hurry up and cultivate. Yes. Let's not talk about the other 8 states. Just in our spiritual state, there are 3 battle masters in the inner palace. If you don't break through to battle master, there's no hope for you to be in the top 10. Most importantly, there's only 1.5 years until the 9 States War. You have to hurry up. Lu Hong said with a trace of worry on her face. You don't have to worry about that. Before the war, I'm confident that I can step into Battle Master. Even if I don't break through to Battle Master, with the battle technique and return technique, I'll be invincible. The most important thing now is to find a 4th grade alchemy fire and upgrade the netherworld demonic flame to 5th grade as soon as possible. Qin Feiyang said. Fatso frowned, this isn't something that can be done overnight. Why don't we go to the Forgotten Land again? Lu Hong suggested. Fatso's pupils constricted, and he immediately said, go if you want. Fat Lord will never go to that damned place again. Although the Forgotten Land didn't lack alchemy fire, they had offended the Tower Master and his wife when they left. These 2 women weren't to be trifled with. If they went to the Forgotten Land again, they wouldn't have a good ending. Lu Hong thought about it and gritted her teeth, then let's just snatch the alchemy fire of the inner palace. Ah! Qin Feiyang and Fatso looked at Lu Hong in shock. Snatch the alchemy fire of the inner palace. Did this girl have a fever? Lu Hong was a little embarrassed by the stares. She lowered her head and said with a red face, I'm just saying. Fatso said solemnly, Fat Lord is telling you, don't even think about it. Qin Feiyang shook his head and smiled, we definitely can't touch the alchemy fire of the inner palace. As for the Forgotten Land, just as Fatso said, we'll be courting death if we go there. Lu Hong said, then what should we do? We can't touch the alchemy fire of the inner palace of the spiritual state, but it doesn't mean that we can't touch the alchemy fire of the inner palace of the other 8 states. Fatso laughed slyly. You mean, go to the other 8 states? Lu Hong was surprised. Fatso nodded and said, yes, the 4th grade alchemy fire is too rare. We can only snatch it from other states. Lu Hong glanced at Fatso and then turned to Qin Feiyang, waiting for Qin Feiyang's decision. Qin Feiyang pondered for a while and said with a smile, going to other states is also a good idea. We're really going? Lu Hong was a little stunned. Let's see how it goes first. Qin Feiyang took out the image crystal and quickly activated it. Soon, an illusory figure was condensed. It was Yin Yuanming. Brat, where have you been for the past half a year? You didn't even reply to my messages. Are you trying to go back on your word? Seeing that it was Qin Feiyang, Yin Yuanming roared hysterically. Go back on my word. Qin Feiyang was stunned and said with a wry smile, I've been outside for the past half a year and couldn't send messages. As for the elixirs I promised you, I'll make them all up for you. As soon as he heard that he would make up for it, Yin Yuanming suddenly laughed. Qin Feiyang was speechless for a while. The speed at which he changed his face was faster than flipping the pages of a book. Yin Yuanming asked, then are you back now? I just came back. Qin Feiyang nodded. Yin Yuanming pursed his lips and said, you sent me a message as soon as you came back. You must be up to no good. Cough, cough. Qin Feiyang choked on his saliva on the spot and said helplessly, it's not a bad thing. I just want to ask, can you find the 4th grade alchemy fire? Yin Yuanming was stunned and said puzzledly, isn't the alchemy fire in the inner hall only 4th grade? Why do you want alchemy fire? Qin Feiyang said, don't worry about that. As long as you can help me get it, it doesn't matter how much I have to pay. Yin Yuanming suddenly became excited. But then, his eyes dimmed again. The only 4th grade alchemy fire I know is the one in the Holy Hall. Also, I can tell you very responsibly that there won't be a second 4th grade alchemy fire in the spiritual state. So, no matter how much money you pay, it's useless. I can't earn your money either. Yin Yuanming said. Qin Feiyang frowned and said, really? No. Yin Yuanming nodded. Qin Feiyang's eyes were filled with disappointment. It seemed that he could only go to other states. Yin Yuanming said, I'm very busy right now. Is there anything else? Qin Feiyang shook his head. Then remember to send the elixir over as soon as possible. With that, Yin Yuanming turned off the image crystal. Fatso chuckled and said, Boss, you have to go now. Lu Hong looked at him strangely and said, why do you look like you want to go to other states? Do I? Fatso asked. Lu Hong's face darkened and said, nonsense, you've been encouraging Qin Feiyang to go to other states. Tell me honestly, are you plotting something? Plotting something? Fatso was speechless to the extreme and shook his head. Your imagination is too rich now. Fat Lord is just tired of staying in the spiritual state and wants to go to other places to take a look. If you have that free time, you might as well cultivate in peace. Lu Hong rolled her eyes at him. Fatso smiled embarrassedly and didn't say anything else. He looked at Qin Feiyang expectantly. Qin Feiyang pondered for a moment and looked at Fatso and asked, then, which state do you think we should go to? Fatso said, of course, cloud state, which is closest to the spiritual state. Lu Hong was slightly stunned and asked in confusion, how do you know that cloud state is closest to the spiritual state? This, Fatso stammered and looked a little flustered. Seeing this, Qin Feiyang and Lu Hong couldn't help but have a trace of suspicion in their eyes. Suddenly, Fatso said confidently, Fat Lord has been in the city for so long, what doesn't Fat Lord know? Is that so? Lu Hong looked at him suspiciously, feeling that Fatso was a little abnormal. Nonsense. Do you think I'm like you, hiding here to cultivate all day and not paying attention to what's going on outside? Fatso glared at her angrily. Lu Hong quickly waved her hand and said, okay, pretend I didn't say anything. Fatso cast a provocative look, as if to say, little girl, at least you know what's good for you. Then he looked at Qin Feiyang and egged, boss, don't you want to go to other cloud state to take a look? No. Qin Feiyang shook his head. Other than the capital, no place could arouse his interest. Fatso immediately shrank. Chapter 498. Facing Qin Feiyang's gaze, Fatso gradually felt guilty. He even broke out in a cold sweat. Finally, Qin Feiyang withdrew his gaze and shook his head. I don't think we should go to Cloud State. As for the elixir fire, we'll think of something when we go to the imperial capital. Boss, Fatso hurriedly said, but before he could say anything, Qin Feiyang disappeared without a trace. What should we do? Fatso froze and immediately frowned. Outside, Qin Feiyang opened a portal and walked in. He was sure that Fatso must have something on his mind. But for some reason, Fatso found it hard to say. To be honest, he was a little angry. They were already so close, what was there that he couldn't say? Moreover, he had already told everyone his true identity. What reason did Fatso have to hide it? He didn't want to force him. He was waiting for Fatso to say it himself. If Fatso really had something to do, it wouldn't matter if he went to Cloud State. However, he really couldn't understand how Fatso could have anything to do with Cloud State. Swoosh! The Sacred Palace. Qin Feiyang appeared out of thin air above the elixir fire hall. It's senior brother Qin. After disappearing for half a year, he has appeared again. His aura is as unfathomable as the ocean. I wonder how far he has cultivated. The disciples coming and going in the square below felt Qin Feiyang's aura. They all looked up and discussed. Whoosh! Qin Feiyang swooped down and landed on the square. The surrounding disciples immediately retreated with awe in their eyes. Qin Feiyang walked in front of Elder D and Elder Qin, cupped his hands and said, Greetings, elders. Good. The two elders nodded and laughed non-stop. Their faces were filled with gratification. It could be said that they had watched Qin Feiyang grow up. For Temple to give birth to such a monstrous genius, they were truly happy. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, This disciple would like to borrow the alchemy room. I hope that the two elders can accommodate me. Elder D chuckled and said, Why are you so polite? This is your home. You can come whenever you want. Thank you, Elder. Disciple will go in first. Qin Feiyang said. Elder D said, Go on. Come to the sacred hall more often when you are free. Many of the new disciples admire you. Yes. Qin Feiyang nodded and turned to enter Pill Fire Hall. Is he Qin Feiyang? Immediately. In the crowd, a few 14 or 15-year-old youths curiously asked the older disciples beside them. One of the older disciples said angrily, Who gave you the guts to call senior brother Qin by his name? Is it so exaggerated that I can't even call him by his name? Disdain appeared in the eyes of the youths. I'm not exaggerating at all. Senior brother Qin is now in the inner palace and rarely appears in the city or the sacred hall. Even if he does appear, he will only contact big shots like Steward Yin. So, not many people talk about his deeds. But let me tell you, his means, his strength, and his mind are enough to make anyone tremble in fear. You know the Lu family and the Dong family, right? They were driven out of the city by senior brother Qin because they offended him. If you haven't heard of the Lu family and the Dong family, you should know Xiao Hong and Xiao Jian. These two used to be senior brother Qin's sworn enemies. Now, whenever they see senior brother Qin, they are like mice seeing a cat. In the last grand competition of the sacred halls, Qin Feiyang returned with a strong momentum and challenged all the heavenly talents of the sacred hall by himself. Among them were geniuses like Xiao Jian, Dong Fangyu, and Xiang Xiaolong. Do you know what the final result was? Senior brother Qin won and even crippled Dong Qing, an inner palace disciple at that time. Moreover, senior brother Qin only took 2 or 3 years to become an inner palace disciple. This talent has never appeared in the spiritual state before. Now, do you still dare to call senior brother Qin by his name? The group of senior disciples sneered. These new disciples were like newborn calves who were not afraid of tigers. Not only did they call senior brother Qin by his name, but they also showed disdain. They were simply courting death. After learning about this, the eyes of the new disciples were filled with fanaticism. Not only in the square, but also in the corridors of the Pill Fire Palace, a large group of people followed Qin Feiyang and discussed animatedly. Qin Feiyang didn't put on any airs. When someone greeted him, he would nod with a smile. On the 10th floor. Alchemy Room Number 1. A white-clothed youth with a protruding mouth and monkey-like cheeks ran to the door of the alchemy room, panting, and knocked hard on the door. Boom! Soon. The stone door opened. Xiao Hong walked out and frowned. What's the hurry? The white-clothed youth said, Senior brother Xiao, bad news. Qin Feiyang is here. What? Xiao Hong's expression changed and he said angrily, why is this malefic here again? The white-clothed youth shook his head. Xiao Hong gritted his teeth. Bastard, I'll kill him sooner or later. Who do you want to kill? Suddenly. An indifferent voice sounded. Swoosh. Then. With the sound of something breaking through the air, Qin Feiyang landed on the 10th floor. Xiao Hong's gaze trembled. He hurriedly ran up and smiled obsequiously. Senior brother Qin, please don't misunderstand. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about him. Xiao Hong pointed at the white-clothed youth with a protruding mouth and monkey-like cheeks. The youth nodded and said obsequiously, yes, yes, yes. Senior brother Xiao Hong is talking about me. Qin Feiyang glanced at the two of them and didn't say anything. At his level, people like Xiao Hong were nothing more than clowns, not worth mentioning at all. Qin Feiyang said, I want to borrow your alchemy room, is that okay? Of course, please come in. Xiao Hong retreated to the side, nodding and bowing, causing the new disciples below to be dumbfounded. Was this still the Xiao Hong they knew? He was simply a servant. Qin Feiyang entered the alchemy room. Xiao Hong wanted to follow him in, but Qin Feiyang suddenly stopped and turned to look at him. Xiao Hong was stunned for a moment, then came to a realization. He nodded repeatedly and said, I understand, I understand. I'll wait outside. Qin Feiyang smiled and waved his hand. The stone door closed with a bang. Bastard! Xiao Hong clenched his fists tightly. He was so angry that smoke was coming out of his head. Xiao Hong is arrogant in front of us, but in front of senior brother Qin, he is as obedient as a puppy. There were people discussing carefully below. Xiao Hong suddenly turned around and landed in front of the railing. He looked down at the crowd below and shouted, Who is talking nonsense, get out immediately. All the disciples lowered their heads, not daring to look directly at him. However, they were all complaining in their hearts. They could only be arrogant in front of them. If they had the guts, why not go against senior brother Qin? However, they did not dare to say these words out loud. Qin Feiyang was not afraid of Xiao Hong, but they had to be. Firstly, it was because of Xiao Hong's strength. An 8-star battle monarch was enough to dominate the disciples of the sacred halls. Secondly, it was because of the family behind Xiao Hong. The Xiao family was also a powerful family in the city. Ordinary people could not afford to offend them at all. A few hundred breaths passed. The stone door finally opened. Xiao Hong immediately went up to him. His previous arrogance was gone. He smiled and said, "Senior brother Qin, are you done so soon? Why? You don't want me to leave? Then I'll stay here for a while." Qin Feiyang said with a smile. Don't. Xiao Hong's expression changed. What a joke. If he let this malefic stay here, he would definitely have a hard time. Can't I? Qin Feiyang frowned. Xiao Hong said with a flattering smile, "It's not that you can't, but this place is too small to accommodate a big Buddha like you." Qin Feiyang laughed and shook his head. "I'm just joking with you. Don't take it seriously." Whoosh! As soon as he finished speaking, he waved his hand and opened a teleportation gate. He strode in. "You scared me to death." When the teleportation gate disappeared, Xiao Hong could not help but wipe his cold sweat. After all these years, Qin Feiyang's appearance was not that big, but his aura was getting stronger and stronger. The pressure he brought to him was also increasing. Treasure Pavilion. In the lounge, Qin Feiyang appeared out of thin air. Yin Yuanming was sitting at the desk, holding an account book and reading it attentively. When he saw Qin Feiyang appear, he immediately put down the account book and got up to welcome him. He said with a smile, "You just came back. You haven't rested well and you've already sent me elixirs. I really feel bad." Qin Feiyang's face twitched. He said, "In that case, I'll go back to the inner hall first. I'll send them back after I've rested." Don't. Yin Yuanming hurriedly grabbed Qin Feiyang's arm and said with a smile, "Since you're already here, why are you going back? Besides, it's a waste of the teleportation gate to come and go, isn't it? That's enough." Qin Feiyang rolled his eyes. He took out a jade box and threw it to Yin Yuanming. He said, 12 potential elixirs and 24 red fire glaze elixirs. You can count them." No need. Yin Yuanming waved his hand. Although he said so, he still opened the jade box and counted them. How hypocritical. Qin Feiyang looked at him with disdain. He walked to the tea table and sat down. He grabbed a teacup, picked up the teapot and tasted it. After Yin Yuanming counted them correctly, he put away the jade box and sat down beside Qin Feiyang. He said with a smile, "Where have you been for the past 6 months? Have fun." Qin Feiyang's body stiffened. He put down the teacup and said with a bitter smile, "It wasn't easy for me to climb out of the gates of hell." Yin Yuanming was surprised. Qin Feiyang said, "Let's not talk about these things. I want to ask, do you know the coordinates of Yunzhou?" Yunzhou. Yin Yuanming was stunned and asked in surprise, "What do you want?" "Just asking out of curiosity." Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. Yin Yuanming said, "I haven't been to Yunzhou. I think the only person who has been there is the mansion master. If you want the coordinates, you can only go to him." Qin Feiyang's eyes flickered. A moment later, he looked up at Yin Yuanming and asked, "Did anything major happen in the city in the past 6 months?" Yin Yuanming thought for a moment and shook his head. "Nothing major, but there is one thing that I don't understand." Qin Feiyang said, "What is it?" Yin Yuanming said, wasn't the Dong family wiped out by Zhao He half a year ago? Qin Feiyang nodded. Yin Yuanming said, at that time, many servants and disciples of the Dong family survived, but they were taken away by Dong Qin and never appeared again. Qin Feiyang frowned and asked, are they in other cities? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.